Well, hello everyone, and welcome. I am not B. Dave. No, I am not.
What?
Surprise! No, actually, as many of you know from tuning in last week, B. Dave unfortunately lost his father, and today was his father's service. So you got me, Vee Muse, as your DM for this evening. So before we get into things, we're going to go through the usual hello, hi, and welcome. Keep in mind, a couple of reminders for you. Thank you, first of all, to our players and idle champions for voting and for tuning in tonight. It is always great to see you in the chat. We acknowledge that the stakes are high, thanks in no part to the votes that you send our way every week. So thank you so much for that. We got them in. I'll give them to you very soon. Also, as the audience, we ask you to please avoid backseating. Our cast knows what they're doing. They know their characters very well. So enjoy the show as we proceed through our story. Now, those daily votes, we have the results in. Spelljammer has a mechanical problem. The forces of the far realm are countless. This week, Virgil acquires a new weapon. The enemy is reinforced by puppeteer parasites. Yay. Tycho the baby lunar dragon causes chaos in this episode. I'm watching you two stop. This week, the random champion is granted double dice damage, which we took care of ahead of the show. And guess what? It's Virgil. So Virgil not only has a nice shiny new weapon, but is also getting some double dice damage to go along with it. Now, if you want to get something fun in Idle Champions itself right now for being in our chat, don't forget to use the code, and that is episode 4 ICP4 code. And no, I am not doing that phonetic sounding it out like B-Dave, because that is his thing. I will let him do that one. As for our giveaways, you have to stick around for the break for those. We have, for US and Canada, Quebec excluded. Sorry, not my laws. It's just what we have to do for the rules. You have a chance to win the adult solar dragon miniature from from WizKids D&D Icons of the Realms Spelljammers Adventure in Space line. And then for our international folks, we're doing a fantastic DLC of All Aboard. And that is something where you will be getting, bear with me, you'll be getting the skin and feet packs as well as the theme packs for all of the Spelljammer skins involved with Hunger of the Far Realms, as well as the skin and feet packs and the theme packs of all the Hunger of the Far Realm packs. So yeah, those are some fantastic goodies that you have a chance to win. But again, that's happening in the break. You have to wait for that one, okay? And we have as our moderators, Jay and Sean. So thank you so much for helping us out in the chat. And let's see, I think that's pretty much it for now. So what do you say we do a fun little recap before we get things started? Because we were left off mid-combat, just for funsies. Why not? Leave it on a cliffy. So in the last episode, the crew of the Light Fantastic and its 5 passengers made their way through the astral sea. On their course to the far realm, they see massive remains of countless gods. As they approach the rift to enter the far realm, innumerable black tendrils shoot out and encapsulate the Light Fantastic. Luckily, the ship is able to escape the grasp of these lovely tentacles, because, you know, far realms, we always have to do the tentacles and tendrils things. Suddenly, the rift pulses again, emitting a new ship. Yay. With a jet black hull and full of evidence of corruption, even the crew of Gift that stand aboard is horrifically misshapen. The Hieronymus launches into attack and the party jumps into action. With powerful attacks and quick thinking, the party manages to defeat the corrupted crew, but at a cost. Virgil falls into unconsciousness and Kent discovers his lifeless form. Evelyn rushes to Virgil and performs lay on hands as Strix explains the role of gods to console Kent. Walnut, reminded of her own loss, steps in to help as well. Virgil and Kent are both shaken, never having experienced such loss. Realizing the state of the Light Fantastic after this encounter, it's decided that they must board the Hieronymus before the air bubble dissipates to continue their journey. Time is of the essence, and while the crew prepares, Virgil and Kent have a heart-to-heart about what he saw in the limbo of his death. Once on the new ship, the Rift accepts it with no issue, and the light of the astral sea is dimmed to naught. Now they find themselves in a black inky void with dimly lit stars. As soon as they enter, a pulsing heartbeat emits from Bahamut's box. Strix, the bearer, is far too tempted and decides to peek, even though they were told not to open the box. Strix is the next to fall, pulled into a terrible, corrupted place of horror. She encounters Tiamat, the Dark Lady herself, screaming as if tortured. Held aloft by red tentacles, Tiamat sees Strix sneers at her and speaks of carving a piece off of her as well. Haven't you already done enough, she cries. She screams she will find her revenge and that nothing will stop her. Again, Strix feels a familiar tug and is brought back to Evelyn's smiling face. Kent takes a chance to scoop up the box from Strix while she is distracted and telling the party about seeing Tiamat. Strix realizes that the corruption is so far-reaching that it is even corrupting the afterlife. The party manages a long rest, though sleep is awkward. They wake to something amiss, and upon perception checks, all but Strix, who is still sleeping, sees a mass of drifting tentacles, wings, eyes, and swords. This is all in one creature, by the way. And realize a gargantuan creature is making its way toward the ship. The party prepares themselves for another battle against this cosmic horror. When Evelyn tries to banish it, they hear its voice in their head. It taunts them that there is no worse place to go than the far realm itself. Instead of a quick death, prepare for a drawn-out demise. And so we left our party fighting this cosmic horror. I think it's time to jump back into it. What do you think? Y'all ready?
No, thank
you. Sure. I
Good.
don't know. Could we do like a bottle episode? Maybe like a road trip somewhere else?
Yeah, I hate to break it
Amazon
to you,
reviews.
Kids. This isn't when the substitute teacher sits in class. I'm actually a certified teacher, so away we go with this plan.
Yeah, fair enough. We're trying to pull one over on the sub.
Yeah, that trick don't work on me, huh?
Everyone put your hands down.
Hands down.
Oh, she got the syllabus. Dang it.
All right, so just as a refresher, we have a couple spells that are in motion still. Kent, you got Foresight from Walmart. Evelyn,
Yes.
you cast Circle of Power. Kent, you are currently grappled.
I'm so sorry. Yes, I am, and it's terrible.
We have a co-player.
Oh, sorry. He's slightly on camera, not that much.
I love it. I love it.
Also,
He's
you
showing us
did.
a good side.
I think you called Walnut Walmart, and I gotta
It was
say,
incredible.
Walnut.
That was
love it.
amazing.
Walnut.
It was amazing.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
No.
Don't be sorry. Rebranding.
Rebranding. Walnut. Ta-da. Okay, so, and this is our order of operation for initiative. We have Evelyn, Kent, Walnut, Strix, Virgil, and Cosmic Horror, who is basically up next. So that all being said, keeping in mind that Kent, you are in its tentacles, well, a tentacle.
Yeah.
It is going to take a look at you, Evelyn, especially since you've cast this lovely, lovely Circle of Power.
It is
And-
lovely, isn't it?
It is, it is a thing of beauty. So it's actually going to try and go in with yet another bite attack towards you. And it is going to get a 31 to hit.
Jeez. Yeah,
Guessing
that'll
that's a
hit.
yes?
Yeah.
That'll hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
That'll hit.
barely.
Just barely. All right. So then Evelyn is going to be taking 22 piercing damage from the bite itself. And as it's lunging towards Evelyn to get that bite in, two of its tentacles go lashing through. And actually, let me just do a quick little... Okay, so Strix and Virgil. Strix, it goes in with one tentacle. And that is going to be a crit to hit.
Oh, come on.
Can I
So
use
it's
my
a-
protection fighting style? Am I close enough to Strix?
Yes, you are.
Then I'm gonna mom arm and try to give disadvantage to that tentacle.
I love it. So let's just roll that again and see what we get on that one. Oh, so much better. Good mom arm. That's only a 19. Will that hit?
Oh, yeah.
Still
I mean,
hits.
I have an
Still
18.
At least
but
it's
yeah.
not a crit.
But it's not a crit.
That's good. I can.
We're not in a crit.
I can also hellish rebuke them
Okay.
as well. When they hit me, I'm just like, ah! Fire.
All right. So then with its tentacle, it is going to do, let's see what we got here for damage, 22 full damage. But then what do we have going with the hellish rebuke?
All right, 1 second. I pushed the wrong button.
Totally
Right,
cool.
It's only 10 damage, but you know, whatever. Little sting.
It's just but a
die.
scratch. Go for it. Okay. And then Virgil, its second tentacle is going to go lashing towards you. And that is going to be a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? And the damage on that one is going to be a 17 to hit. Now, with those of you, since you have been hit with a tentacle, you're going to be grappled. However, it's going to be an escape of a DC 18.
Also, since I'm doing a concentration spell, I need to do a Constitution saving throw to maintain that concentration after taking damage. Is that right?
That is correct.
Do you know what I'm rolling against? I don't usually have this problem.
Let's see here.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I rolled a crit.
Oh, hey.
Okay, so yeah,
Ooh.
you're good.
Ooh.
You're good. All right, love it. So yes, and that was force damage, by the way, for Virgil and Strix, if that should
Okay.
matter for either of you.
No, but
so
if
just
it did that's a melee attack, then it gets 17 lightning damage back to that tentacle.
Ooh, nice.
And
I love
it must make a I don't know how this is going to work. Interesting. It needs to make a strength saving throw DC 18,
Ooh.
Okay.
and on a failure it is pushed in a straight line away from me, but it's like I don't
Something
know.
tells me a DC 18 is not going to be super hard for this thing.
Probably not. No.
It just got it just got 27.
Well then, never mind. Well then,
No, it's good. We don't have to figure out the mechanics of it.
Thank
Maybe that
goodness.
was-
'Cause I'm like, how do you push back a grapple? Never mind. Don't want to know.
What was
I mean,
the
I probably could
damage
carry it with you.
again? What was how much damage?
For you?
with the- yeah.
That was, I believe, a 21.
Okay, I missed it again. All right.
Oh, wait, no, 22 on your part,
Okay.
and then it was 17 for Virgil.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so that is everything it is going to do. So now we have Virgil, Strix, and Kent all grappled. And it's going to take us back to the top of initiative with Evelyn. You are up.
Alrighty.
Help me.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I want to attack the tentacle that is holding Strix. So, I know we can't do like a called shot or anything, but would it be? Is it different whether I do damage or whether I chop that tentacle off?
You know, I like this thought process, and I'm always one to play the rule of cool. So yeah, why don't you go for the tentacle, and let's see if we can release your friend Strix.
Okay, great. I'm going to make an attack with Lightfall, my battle axe, which will be
Sweet.
23 to hit.
Okay, 23 will hit.
Great. And then damage will be 14 plus improved divine smite.
Ooh.
Plus this is this undead or a fiend?
No, it is an aberration.
Ah, okay. Then just 18 for that one. 18 radiant.
18. Okay, beautiful. So we're looking at some nice little. So you see, as you said it was your axe.
Mm-hmm.
You see, as your axe makes contact with the flesh of this creature, that it makes contact and it pushes its way through, and it doesn't get all the way through, but you can see that the tentacle is now almost lifeless in form. It can't quite move as well, and you see that the grip is slacking. So Strix, you'll have advantage on your escape when the time comes. Oh,
Well, I
but
have
wait,
a
is there
second
more?
attack.
Yay!
So
Then give it to
I'm gonna Paul Bunyan my way through this.
Oh, I love
tentacle
this. Yes.
Right now, I roll. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
25 to hit.
Beautiful. That's gonna hit.
Great, and that will. Oops, no, that's wrong. It will do. Not that. Come on. I'll
Not
just
this
do
one,
it
the other one.
manually. All right, that will do. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus a d8 is 4, so 15 radiant.
15. Okay. So with that total damage put together between you two attacks, you see the first swing, it doesn't quite get all the way through, but you manage to half that axe back, swing it through, and it slices through its remaining. And Strix, you manage to fall back onto, not technically fall, we're not doing bludgeoning damage, but you manage to fall back onto the deck of the ship, and the tentacle is now sort of just surrounding your feet, though you probably are prone because you were held in its grasp as it was falling. So just keep that in mind for your
Can I,
route.
if I am falling, maybe though I could use my little tentacle whip to like hold me up, be like, no, and then like,
Gross.
so
I
now
like
I'm
it.
just kind of like hanging,
Okay. Okay. I
Oh.
like it. I like it.
and I'm like, it's biting my arm. That's
We love a bold choice.
Uh-huh.
I
That is fantastic.
have one more thing to do.
Yes.
If I'm
Okay.
not mistaken, I also threw the dancing longsword, the sword of Butthander, into the air last
did.
time.
Yeah.
You
And-
did. Yep.
So I still have a bonus action left, and I think you said that Virgil was also
Yes.
grappled?
Yep, Virgil and Kent.
And Kent. Who's closest to me?
At this point, it's
Oh.
going to be Virgil since he was just pulled. Kent got pulled, lofted up into the air.
Oh, Kent's in the air. So I don't want to stop. I don't want to free him from the tentacle at this moment because that could be bad. So I will go for Virgil and I'll send the sword to spear that tentacle. And it will roll 18 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, it does.
Right?
Mhm.
And it
Good.
will do 10. I don't know what kind of damage. Let me
Is
check.
it radiant?
It is
Dancing.
slashing.
Slashing.
Dancing
Okay.
damage.
Plain
Dancing
old
damage.
slashing. Dancing damage.
There we
Boogie
go.
damage.
Is there anything else that Evelyn would like to do?
No.
Because she's
I'm
on
done.
fire.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So as Evelyn goes through all of these impressive attacks, as its reaction, you see this cosmic horror sort of begin to puff itself out and the wings begin to billow up again. And you see it's doing almost like this filling of itself. It doesn't breathe, remember. So it's like you can see the inside filling up and its eyes sort of opening wider and bigger and focusing on all of you. And it lets out this belch of noxious fumes. However, it's not quite the same as it was the first go around. What looks like a burst of stardust is thrown in your direction, and you realize that this thick, dark, billowing cloud, it's not that it's flecks of light's shining, it's that the flecks of light are being distinguished as it makes its way towards you. And you find that you're quickly absorbed into this void of blackness, and it extinguishes everything around you. You're each pulled into a place where sound and light are all but lost. Your skin begins to tingle, and your head pulses with an unavoidable sharp pain. You know your eyes are closed, and yet you see pinwheels of sparks and strobes of prismatic lights. I'd like you all to give me a DC con save, please.
Is that a
Oh.
magical effect?
No, it is not. I already looked into this one.
You all still have +4 on saving throws.
Yeah.
Mm.
Don't
And
forget that one.
What was it? Constitution?
Yep, con save.
So with the +4, it's at 26 for Kent.
Same,
Okay.
twinsies.
Great.
Except it took a crit for me to get that high.
What about the rest? What do we have for you all?
Walnut got an 11.
An 11. Okay. Virgil?
19.
19 Strix.
21.
Oh,
21. Okay. So, Walnut, you, with that fail save, you'll get 14 poison damage to that one as you get
Of course.
absorbed by this gaseous black void of a cloud. So, when you open your eyes finally, the cosmic horror you see slightly in the distance, he's glaring at you with a smug satisfaction. Now, you hear its voice ink through your minds. Now look upon each other. This is what you are. This is who you are in the far realm. And as you each begin to look at one another in confusion, you notice that your appearance has drastically changed since your last blow up on the Light Fantastic. Tell me, Kent, what do you look like now that you realize that not only are you back on the ship's deck, but you don't look the same?
The first thing I notice is that enormous periwinkle feather has been shredded. It's just like maybe a few little wisps of feather remain. The hat is gone altogether. And so as I sort of look at that, I see then my cloak, that beautiful sort of magenta star cloak, has also just been shredded, just rents up and down it. That's not the strangest thing I see on my shoulder, though. A few times since we've left, Kent has called upon the phantasms that he studied as an archaeologist to help him in his fight. And now they just sort of seem to be hanging out. There are about 7, that's right, an odd number, 7 arms, 7 spectral arms coming out of him at various places, writhing and grasping for something around. As I try to swat one of them away, I see eyes, spectral eyes on the backs of my hands and on my shoulders and on the brooch of my cloak. And that brooch, which used to be that beautiful stone with the angel's wings, the wings are gone and the stone is cracked down the middle in sort of a poisonous, sickly green. Yeah.
I love it. Fantastic. So as Ken's taking in the sight of his own new visage, Evelyn, what would the others be seeing right now?
I think Evelyn sees, somehow sees herself reflected in her friend's eyes or something, and notices, as she is a very spiritual being, all of her eyes are open. The third, the fourth, and the fifth eye, all of them wide open, and just all black, no pupils, no irises. And that, of course, causes Evelyn to start to cry. And as she does, just ichor cries down her face from these black purple pits in her face. And she looks in her armor that was all starlight, because Lathander is the Lord of the Morning, the sun, and, you know, was paying homage with a star. All of a sudden, that starlight looks a little more cosmic, a little more nebulous, and the center of her axe that was a bright glowing star is suddenly a deep, resounding black hole surrounded by emanating galaxial glow. And the wings on her boots are gone, so she's kind of just sitting cross-legged on the ground, not knowing what to do with herself. And who knows why? Maybe because Lathander favors her, maybe because she's kind of a Snow White and has always, you know, attracted friendly creatures, but some just aberration from the deep crawls up beside her and gives her a little nudge, and she knows it's friendly, and it wraps its little tentacles around her arms, and it uses its giant displacer beast style tentacles to lift her up and walk like on stilts instead of flying. So she kind of looks like Doc Ock, but with like displacer beast tentacles.
Amazing.
And she feels better.
Sweet. Strix, what about you?
I hate that. I hate the
Yeah, I do
Evelyn one
too.
so much. It's so bad. I'm like, I'm used to this, but I'm not used to Evelyn being used to this.
I'm surprised it came from my brain, honestly.
You've been hanging around me for too long. I think so. Strix is, you know, obviously covered in tinfoil right now and a bunch of papers and string and things like that. But when she sees herself here, the paper kind of morphs into just gore. And so it's covered in blood and goop and just disgusting remnants of sort of tentacle creatures. So her hat is just covered in tentacles with one big tentacle wrapped around the top and speared on the top like a piece of sushimi.
Mm-hmm.
And so covered in blood, just blood, all hands. Like it looks like she's been digging in creatures the size that she's fighting right now. Just like she's been digging through them and parts are stuck to her. Just disgusting. And her sign has changed, now has a tentacle around it, but there's also a pie on it. So she's no longer concerned about mind flayers. She's just embraced that they're a tasty treat and that we should eat them instead of fighting them. So she's collecting parts from all these different things. She has a brain, pauldron, just all of these different body parts, and we're making pies out of them at this point. And she has a third eye, because that's sick.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah. End of story, because it's sick.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
What about for Walnut?
So Walnut, in her sea creature form, you know, when they first got to space, looked like these prismatic shells and these tropical fish, and like just like gold and orange, and had really beautiful. And now it's like all of those creatures have begun to decay or become sickly. Everything kind of changes to this like yellow, green, where she had you know, these jellyfish, she now has just like chitin and spines. Her hair turns to sargasso weed. Her feet get this like webbed, scaled sort of look, and in fact, like her whole skin starts to become very fish-like. Her elf ears becoming fins like a fish, and there's so much like, you know, algae and seaweed on her that she starts to look like a little more hunched over, a little more weighed down. She looks like something you would find in the trench of the sea, with like bioluminescence, but in a like predator of the deep way, and not a welcome sight.
No, and yet still beautiful. All right, Virgil. Finally.
Virgil, I don't like if it's something to do with the far realm, and maybe also something to do with coming back from the other side, but Virgil now, the amazing land captain outfit is gone. It's shredded. His arms are exposed, but down them there is like this blue lightning energy that is crackling, and there's still like one hint of that cloak, but it's all just like Kent. It's all tattered and tied around his neck. There's now a hood completely covering his face, although you can see his eyes still glowing blue, and from his eyes, again, like as if the power inside is kind of ripping and crackling through his skin. The lightning is showing through, and everywhere you can sort of see where the robe opens, there are these tentacles. They are just writhing, and the robe extends all the way to the ground, and there are simply more tentacles. Like you no longer see feet, you no longer see walking. It is just this undulating mass of tentacles, and still holding the fan, because details matter. But it's just, yeah, like the happy expression is gone. There's just kind of like, a deadness and a coldness now, and almost likes it a little bit.
Welcome to the dark side. So as you all start taking in your new looks, you hear again the voice of the cosmic horror needling into your minds, and you feel a pulse emanating from it. Where it once hovered is now an inky blackness, and in the distance you see its form moving away from all of you. And in your head you hear its voice taunting, "Now who is the horror in these cosmos?"
I scream back at it, "Still you jerk."
I add,
And I was-
yeah!
Shake a fist.
So as you all get in your last digs, as it starts moving out of earshot, and sound travels in space. Hey, have you heard those new space sounds? Totally travels in space. You hear these little clunks and bumps happening behind you, and Kent, you hear Photos going, "Daddy give many hugs?"
Oh, I think. I think without looking at Photos, I think one of the spectral arms reaches out towards Photos and sort of gestures for him to come closer.
Photos is torn, because Photos is like, my daddy's the best daddy. But also, my daddy looks very different right now. So you kind of see like this little back and forth dance, and give me a persuasion check on that one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm okay at that. 23. It's
Beautiful.
a charming,
Just
creepy.
okay.
You don't want to go, but there's something calling you. I don't know.
Yeah. So as you beckon to Photos, I have a feeling these other arms also start coming out and do similar motions of like, "Come here," and like, we'll give you scritches and everything like that. And Photos eventually ends up sort of making his way over to you, and almost uses the extra arms to hop his way up and perch back around your neck like a little scarf as it kind of curls up against you.
I sort of reach up and pat Photos' head and sort of bring him so that I can whisper in his ear and say, "Don't ruin this for Daddy. He looks very badass right now."
Okay, Daddy. Photos growl. Arrgh. And like he tries to give this fierce little grumbly growl.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, Evelyn, you hear this frantic little cooing sound coming from the bag in which you have left Treppy.
Oh, the like tote, my like designer tote bag that he's in.
Your designer tote bag that's all cute and everything like that. It has not changed.
Okay, great.
It stayed the same.
That is very reassuring to Evelyn, who picks up the bag, puts it on very cutely, and just like pats him and says, "They're there, don't." And he like goes to like kiss her face, and she kind of like turns away, but then he likes it, and he licks off even more of the little ichor tears, and she thinks she feels a little better.
Oh, that's good. Strix, for you, you have your lovely little space swine whose name lies. Kuba, thank you. Between Kuba and Bala, I'm like, I was gonna say Kabbalah, and I'm like, that's not right at all. So Kuba comes trotting over to you, grunts and everything like that, and starts sniffing at the mix of substances on your clothes, and actually starts gnawing on them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just like, these are all edible. They're wonderful sources of protein, and they come in a soft, flaky pastry. And then I just like take one for myself, and I'm like, and I hand one to him.
Yeah. All right, so it's snack time for the two as you munch away
so we
on
just
your.
Sit there but you
I see you both
us,
sitting
like,
on the deck.
You know, like when you chew on like a rubber band or something like that, like that. That's like what it. That's like what it tastes like. I feel like, but she doesn't care.
All right.
Not that I chewed on a rubber band.
I was gonna ask that, but I let it slide.
You knew the answer was why you knew the answer.
I mean,
where does one stop and the other begin? Nobody knows.
Fair enough. Walnut, you have Bala sort of swimming, floating over towards you, and you hear these cooing little clicks and echoey sounds emanating, and it's almost this look of concern emanating from its eyes as they sort of look at you and tilt their head in curiosity.
And I think that I look at Bala, and I tilt my head at her, and I look down. I tilt my head the other way, looking at myself, and I look up at her and I go, "It is that bad. Yes." I just like, and then just communing with this tiny little whale, this little space whale, and Walnut is just very clearly like, no. Sea creatures and her at best, not a big fan, and now just feeling the weight of all the barnacles, she's just like trying to shrug everything off and can't. She doesn't even want to like hold Bala. It's like, I wouldn't want you to touch this either.
Okay, so Bala just sort of tends to do this hovering thing around you, and she every so often she'll try and like swim under your hand just to kind of get a grazing touch, but very much avoiding the rest of the new arrivals, if you will.
Yeah, the most I'll do is break off a piece of my seaweed hair and try and feed it to her as a snack.
Okay, I love how it's turned into snack time. Beautiful. Meanwhile, you all start to hear these bumps and bangs and ruckus happening a little ways behind you. And Virgil, you realize that Tycho is nowhere to be seen.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Tycho.
Coming, Daddy. And it's off in the distance. And you hear like this sound happening right afterwards.
Yeah, Virgil would look to see, like, what is in that direction that is making that noise?
Okay, so give me a quick perception check on this one.
Uh-huh.
Can we all hear this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Tycho is not being quiet at all.
Okay. I'm just like, have you considered like maybe like a tentacle version of one of those like baby harnesses that has like a leash? Like, like one of those little strappy things.
I'll take it under advisement. That's a 9 for perception. That was not
Oh no.
That's a 9. So Virgil, it takes you a little bit trying to find Tycho because again, the ship is it's very curious in build. There are a lot of nooks and crannies to it. But you finally managed to locate where Tycho is sort of making these sounds, because every so often you see this little glimmer of light as it blows out its breath in frustration. And you see like this little iciness sort of growing on the wall nearby as a result. And as you make your way over, you see that Tycho is trying to, with his mouth, pull out something from underneath this crevice between what I guess would be the wall and you guess would be the floor. Daddy found something for you.
Oh. Tycho, you're my favorite.
I did good.
What? Ken's out of earshot.
Oh, am I? Damn, because I can't wait to hear that voice.
Oh, you did very good.
All right, so Virgil, you realize that Tycho is pulling out this long staff that has somehow hidden itself in this form of the ship of the blackness and the forms that have grown over the original ship itself. And as he gives it one final tug, it rolls out and it rolls to your feet. And when you pick it up, what do you realize you have been given by darling Tycho?
Virgil has been given an eldritch staff. And it's about the size of a quarterstaff, but here in the far realm, it almost hurts to look at. Like, it is sort of like negative. It is negative light. It is that darkness. There are sort of like tentacles writhing around the top of it because it's the theme. And yeah, actually just kind of the quarterstaff that he currently has, he just throws on the deck and grips this one like, this one suits me better.
All right, when you throw that staff, Tycho goes running after that and tries to bring it back over to you.
After he does, Virgil will simply drop it, as opposed to throwing it this time. Just
no fetch, Daddy.
No fetch.
Okay. Still do good?
Very good.
And Tycho will quickly work his way up and sort of perch on your one shoulder and just sort of puff up with pride over his newfound treat for Daddy. Now, as you all are getting acquainted with your new forms and reassuring your familiars, Captain Carstairs comes over to all of you and actually looks rather concerned and looks to all of you and says, not for nothing. This is the second ship we just got. Granted, we got into the far realm, but I'm worried by hanging out here by this rift, there's going to be more finding us before we can get to where we need to go. Which brings me to my next point. Do you know where we're going?
Isn't that why we need the sextant?
The sextant.
Yeah, that's what I said.
One of those.
That's what she said.
We'll go with that, sure. It's one of those things where it kind of helps to have coordinates. Things I can plug in and use as a trajectory.
Coordinate, like, I mean, you have that whole closet full of clothes. You can't find coordinates in there?
Not fair. Remember, that's also at the other ship.
Oh, right.
But
my bad.
Yeah. Besides, it looks like you kind of recoordinated anyways, as it is.
Yeah, do you think that's permanent? You don't think this is permanent, right? It's just a local aesthetic type of thing?
Well, do you like it?
No.
Then for your sake, I hope not.
I'm sure it's just a, when in Rome type of thing.
That's fair.
I cough up a tentacle.
I mean, when we get back, you'll have to explain what a Rome is, but yeah, sure.
I heard someone say that once.
Yeah. Well, we still have the sextant, and we're now on a ship. So we simply need someone to steer it.
Is your voice different?
No, I always talk like this.
I don't know. I don't know you very well, but like something. There's something.
Yeah, Kent
Shush,
keeps,
let him talk some
Kent
more.
keeps making really, really weird faces like he's in pain. And I think,
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I feel like something is different.
Are you okay?
I just
Kit?
cough up another tentacle.
Yeah, what? Yes. Yeah, yes. Yes.
Are you
Oh,
sure?
I feel like it lands near my foot.
No.
Kent, I promise if you have get gas or something, one of these tentacles might help. They're a cure-all, actually. They're like essential oils. If you eat one, they'll cure all of your problems. I like push it towards his face.
So the sextant?
Like I said before, it needs a little something else to make sure we're going to where we need to go.
That just was not something that was made clear to us before. I'm not one to, we all are doing our best, but before we just needed this sextant and then it was going to somehow tell us where to go. And
Is that not what the box was for, or was the box just for traumatizing Strix?
Oh, right. We had a box.
I thought the box was to bring the goddess back.
We really should have written a lot of this down.
Yeah.
Normally I would write it down, but I thought that I wouldn't have to do this. And now here we
Any of
are.
it. Yeah.
So you're saying we're in the far realm without a direction at this point, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, what is direction in the far realm?
I think we should
Literally
pray
keeping
to
us-
Lathander to show us with his light the direction we should go.
Actually, maybe that's a good idea.
What?
Up here in the middle of nowhere, we.
Yeah, let's do it now. She grabs
No,
Strix's
no,
hand.
you do it. You do
We're praying
it.
together.
No,
Because
not
Strix wants
me.
to pray to you. Strix said the praying to you is a good idea.
You're holding the tentacle, by the way, not her hand. No, all I'm saying is that maybe a little bit of direction would help. And gods have lots of powers, so they get the powers themselves, so they could maybe give us a little bit of direction. And he seems so willing to answer you so often.
I'm poking you with the discarded quarterstaff like a stick, going, what did you do with Strix?
So
No,
as
I'm
this is
just like, I'm not gonna worship him or anything. Just like, I'm just like, it's just like calling. It's like, or like sending, not calling. I don't know what that is. Sending a message to someone and getting a response who's out of the area, as in we're stuck here. There's no gods here.
Just like you would a friend or someone you cared about or someone who cared about you. Just,
Or
just like someone that you could trust to take care of you.
Or ordering food.
dun 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 dun
Oh my god. Yeah, see,
is
but
that
I'm
the
like
box?
calling a friend, a reluctant friend.
dun dun
Does anybody
Is
hear
that the
that?
box?
What is
It's
that?
I don't have it anymore. It was taken away from me.
Oh, no, I do.
dun dun
Wait, I have a
dun
box. Hold on. Is
Is
it
that
this?
you?
dun dun.
Is that you?
Is that look?
So, as Kent pulls out the box, the steady heartbeat rhythm washes through you, seemingly tapping into mind and body at once. A voice is heard, connecting to all your minds. The world's of Bahamut.
Oh.
In the form of the monk you met him as, but underscored by the deep rumbling of the voice of the platinum dragon in his true form. The time is nigh. You have undertaken this quest at my need and entreaty. But to seek out the soul of the fallen one, you must forge your own connection through the link that binds that soul to mine. Seek to touch the other with your hearts, your minds, your spirits. Seek the connection that will lead you on. And you all hear this.
Is that all we get?
That is needlessly vague.
What's our other options? This has been great, but I don't want to touch or connect with any of you more than we already have.
The tentacle
Kent,
reaches a little bit closer to you.
Oh.
Kent, as you hold that box, the brightness fills your mind and the steady beating of the box begins to echo. Then that brightness is occluded by a sudden shadow, a feeling of vertigo filling you as your thoughts are seemingly drawn forward across empty space. Suddenly, silence descends, and then that silence is filled with the sound of screaming. And right now, only you can hear it.
I do not throw, but do drop the box onto the deck. That is awful. Can I continue to hear it after I let go?
Mm-hmm. Keeps going.
Yeah, okay. Screaming. 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 Can I tell, is it directional? Is it...
It's all in
No.
your mind. It's coming from no specific direction. Do any of you address the box that is now on the ground?
Yeah.
Because
I go,
remember, you don't want the lid to open. Slight reminder.
No.
Yeah, was it a gentle drop or was it a panicked drop?
great question.
Oh.
Is anyone going to try and...
Yeah, I wish I could say that it was anything else, but it was a pretty panicked drop, I imagine.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
give me an athletics or acrobatics check or sleight of hand. I'll give you 3 options there to work through it from the rest of you to see if anyone can catch it.
Also,
Oh gosh, all of these are awful.
I definitely don't make a move for it, but I do go, nice, Kent.
no, I don't make a move.
I'm
at all.
not touching it.
But
Oh,
if Kent is yelling screaming, I just start screaming.
It sort of
Yeah.
equalizes the sound inside and out of my head, so
There
it's
we
actually
go.
kind of nice.
It's balancing
So I'm just,
everything.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just,
like-
I was told to scream. I'm screaming.
So no
I'm
one
sorry.
else is reaching for it?
Well,
No.
no, because Virgil sees Kent screaming and remembers what happened to Strix. Virgil actually just starts I can do undulating across the deck to essentially try to flow over the box. But I don't know,
Okay.
I don't know what kind of check I should do. Yeah.
Oh.
Why?
Listen, I have a lot of complex emotions about
Many-
you right now.
Sleight
Many
of
tentacles
tentacle
make
check?
light work. Many tentacles make light
Give
work,
me
is
a
all I'm
sleight
saying.
of tentacle check with advantage since you're working with more than one
Okay.
hand.
I was gonna say, can I make 10 sleight of hand rolls?
We'll give you advantage.
Oh.
Natural 20 on advantage
Nice.
anyway, so it's a 21.
Yay. Okay. All
Um,
right. So, Virgil, you are able to cushion the fall of this box with one of your tentacles, and the other one just sort of manages to put itself on top so the lid does not get jarred open. But as soon as you make contact with this box, you go through the same thing Virgil just did, and now you two start hearing the screaming.
Okay, well.
Oh. Screams. And again, do either of us get a sense of intensity, like looking around intensity, just screams?
It's just screams coming from
Okay.
you know not where yet, but you do notice that it is now that you're sharing it,
That's what I was
it's
going
a
to
little
ask.
less intense.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to ask. Oh, no.
Oh no.
Touch the box! Touch the box!
Then
Touch the
yeah, as
I'm touching the box.
As Virgil is basically just putting the hands over ears, what essentially happens is the box has traveled up through Virgil's robe via tentacles and actually just kind of emerges from one of his sleeves, and is like somebody has to take this, please.
That visual is so gross. I just want to touch it now again. It's just like,
See,
Okay.
you get him with a good look.
There you
That's
go.
all.
so sticky.
So, Strix, do you touch the box?
Yeah. I'll just be like, I'm gonna hand it to Evelyn.
So, Strix, as soon as you make contact with that box, same thing happens to you. Again, the screaming is heard, but again, the screaming seems to almost filter through the 3 of you now. And Evelyn, as Strix hands this to you and you reach for it, Same thing as soon as you make contact with it. You're realizing that the scream is becoming a shared thing. Walnut, they are
I just
all
hot
expressing.
potato it to Walnut.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay, you hot potato. You just like throw it at me?
No. Like, Strix got me, like, someone's like, here, take this flyer.
Oh.
I so I'm doing it to you now. Here, take this, like, right into your chest.
I'm just like just doing this.
I'm just kind of like trying to set it on top of your hands.
Oh.
I'm gonna touch it to your shoulder.
I think Walnut would be more scared of it opening than.
Yeah, at this point, it's getting
Then touching
jostled
it?
around pretty well.
Yeah, I think you can like cram it in there a little bit. I hate it.
All right.
I'm holding it.
So now that you have all teamworked and touched the box,
Makes the scream work.
Wait, do I hear much of a
Oh.
scream at all, or is it just like, what are you guys crying about? It's fine.
you all hear the scream. It is consistent. It is strong. It is not as unbearable. However, I do need you all to give me a DC charisma saving throw.
Oh.
Oh.
Also,
that was
Don't
not
forget to
nice
add
even.
4.
do I
Yeah, you gotta get your
recognize this as Tiamat because I have spoken to her in the box when she killed me?
It's a very familiar scream for
Yeah.
you, Strix. Yes.
I'm just like, oh, it's just Tiamat. You have to shut up. Shut up. Gods are dumb and bad. That's what I
Tiamat.
That's what I say to her. Just be quiet. Oh my god.
All right. Let's hear what
Shut
those
up,
saving throws are.
What?
Love it.
Walnut got a 23.
Dirty
Sweet.
20 for Kent.
Excellent.
I rolled a 3, but luckily I have plus 14, so it's a 17.
Okay.
Nice.
Virgil, did we get yours?
Do we have a +4 on that from Evelyn still?
Yes. Yep, you
Then
do.
it's a 32.
Hey.
I
that's
never
all you
get to
know.
say rolls. I never get to say my roll scores like Eugenio does. So I just want to relish this one.
Absolutely.
32.
Listen, anytime I can throw a charisma save at you, Virgil, I will.
And Strix?
Mine was a dirty 20.
All right, so you all managed to save and avoid taking psychic damage from this scream that is emanating from Tiamat. Now, Strix, this scream is very familiar to you. As you are to the scream and you hear this voice registering in your mind, none could match my power. None could impose their faith and will as I could. And none will stand against me when I reclaim my throne. And your normal dislike for gods is heightened. You get this sense of hatred coursing through you it's not from you. You can tell this is coming from Tiamat.
Right.
That you are getting this rage towards the other gods, from Tiamat towards you. And
I don't really
you
hate
do have
that. I really hate that. I mean, I feel like I empathize with it.
empathize.
Yes.
So, what do you do when you hear her voice in your head?
I do have Strix has her own issues, so she's just going to go. She's gonna make like fart noises the whole time she talks, just like. Just ignoring her.
So you mock me, or do you agree with me?
To be honest, I agree with you, but I also think that you're a little full of yourself. I'm just being honest. Am I talking to myself? I look at the
No,
other
you're
party.
not. How curious. One such as yourself wanted to be one like me.
Well, you got caught and trapped, so maybe not exactly like you.
And you died 5 times, so who's counting?
That's fair. I feel as if I was burned by that.
I know that feeling.
So what's it like having, like, what do you have, 5 heads? That's crazy.
It's
You just,
never
like-
quiet.
Can you eat all the, like, you just eat whatever you want?
Each one gets a day. I'm on a diet.
That's fair. I don't think you're that bad, Tiamat. I just think you're really angry, and I don't think you need to be that angry. I think you should be nicer, like Lathander.
Let's not
Do
get
I
started
hear
about
that?
Lathander.
I was just gonna say, hold
Do
on.
any of us hear that? Wow.
Yeah.
At that
any of
point,
us
you
hear
would
that?
not, because
Oh.
other things are happening at the same time.
Something inside me feels a
Feels a
flutter.
little dig.
I'm just
So
saying,
Strix.
the gods that are nicer usually don't get trapped in spooky little boxes with their heart beating. It's just, it's a bad look. It's bad optics.
I don't know whether next time I see you, I want to like you or destroy you, and that's not a bad thing.
That's what everyone thinks. But I'll bring you a pie.
It's a deal. Meanwhile,
My first deal with a god.
You're gonna regret that.
Mm.
She don't know what's in that pie.
meanwhile,
Sure
no, I mean, good. We had what, eye pie at the beginning. Now it's tentacle pie. And boy, it's gonna get really clever soon. Kent, for you, since you were carrying the box next, you get this overwhelming sense of malevolence, just sort of overtaking your thoughts and emotions. And you get this sense of an ancient evil that has been fed by a millennia of destruction and death. And you hear the silky snide voice in your mind. I have consumed worlds, and I will consume more. Why should I fear you?
Now, I was on Mount Tiamat, but not with the main party. Does this feel like my experience with Tiamat, or is this...
You were
is
more
this Dar is the question.
you were more exposed to Tiamat in her dragon form.
Uh-huh.
You didn't get the pleasure of interacting with Tiamat in her, dark lady form.
Uh-huh.
But it's one of those things where you can kind of put two and two together. This was
Okay.
the box that had something of Tiamat in it, and now you hear a voice in your head, so
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to be sure that it didn't feel like Hadar, the thing coming for her. Okay, great.
No.
I didn't have the pleasure of meeting you directly the last time. But I think you remember all that we did back then. But none of that is why you should fear us. You should fear us because we are your only hope, my lady.
My only hope? For what? Surely the five of you can do nothing of significance. Immortals that you are.
And yet, you felt something coming for you, haven't you? Something eating away at what little is left.
And as you say this I'm not going to scream because we know what mics will do with that one, emanates in your mind again. This one's strong and intense and not shared with the others. And you
Yep,
almost
that's
hear
the
her
one.
breathing heavily afterwards. What do you know?
Very little. But enough that we could save you from that. We could end that torment. We could save you. That is why you should fear us, because no one else is coming for you.
And you hear this gasp. And it goes quiet for you, Kent. Meanwhile, Evelyn, as this scream is reverberating in your mind, and you see your companions all clutching their heads in the same, trying to deal with this scream, you're suddenly filled with this feeling of deep loss and regret for the past and rejection of those who feel that, those with feelings as a weakness. And then you hear this voice, the same voice the others have been hearing, but you're not aware of that. In the first days, there was bounty, there was peace, there was perfection. And we were fools to believe it would last.
Well, Lathander teaches that we will be born again in the new dawn. So, they'll probably be better than perfection. Who are you?
And you hear this sardonic laugh, and then a scream follows behind it.
Are you okay? Wait,
Of
I know
course
that
I'm not
voice.
okay. Do you?
I think I killed you before.
Yes, and I have to thank you for my current situation because of it.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have tried to hurt so many people. See?
Maybe you shouldn't have tried to hurt so many like me.
Well, it seems like you've had time to think about your actions. So maybe Lathander will, let you be born again into a new dawn and you can try again and not be so evil.
Do you really think that fool Lathander has the, what do you like to say, gumption? To
Gumption's
help
a good
me
word.
out? Yes.
Well, I mean, if you're ready to bring light to the world instead of darkness, I'm sure I could ask it for you if you wanted.
Oh, my dear, I can bring light to the world. I can bring so much more than that.
We are told that if you aren't brought back, then the world will end and stuff. So seems like we need to. So we'll come get you. Just hang tight. Try not to scream too loud if you can. It's really hurting everyone's heads. But I know you're probably sucks where you are. We're gonna do our best. We're gonna get there as soon as we can.
And there's one more agonizing scream as you're saying, "Hang in there." Because remember, she's not exactly in a very comfortable situation, as we found out last episode. It's kind of being held up by red tentacles, and not such good things happening to Tiamat at this point.
That actually does get Evelyn, and she's like, we'll be there soon. Like, she feels genuinely bad for Tiamat.
Like, her caregiving for Tiamat is so funny.
You hear this slight sigh of relief, almost, Evelyn, after the scream is done, when you say that.
Oh.
And then, moving on to Virgil. Again, that scream is bouncing through the walls of your mind. And you feel a deep antipathy for humanity and its many failings. And as this
fair enough.
takes you over,
Yeah, right.
sidebar. As you feel this, you hear this voice in your mind. The weakness of the small folk, the trivial peoples of trivial worlds. It's their greatest legacy. They are made only to worship, and they will worship me.
Doesn't sound as though anyone's worshiping you now.
You're here, aren't you?
But we're here with the option to help you.
And yet it seems you've taken up such an option.
Yes, but the funny thing about being a savior is it's still a choice for one of us.
You see yourself the savior.
No, I see you as someone in need of saving.
And I have a sense that you are one in need of reassurance. Perhaps you've seen too much. Perhaps you are given cause for concern, realizing that maybe, just maybe, I'm necessary. I'm needed. I'm not just something whose head you can chop off and keep in a bag as a trophy. and put aside thinking nothing's going to happen.
No, I admit that your kind is necessary. It's not an appealing thought to lose everything we know and have all of it fall to darkness. However, perhaps, just perhaps, on the part of your playthings, we might enjoy this thing you might be experiencing called humility.
Humility? Yes, I suppose that's a word that your kind likes to flock to. Likes to use for reassurance. Perhaps we can come to an accord. Perhaps we can each save each other. Or would you rather stay in the
Hold on
state
a
you're
second.
in?
Now I gotta roll a d20.
Wait, but why the what?
Okay. No, there is a noticeable pause, and thankfully Rotor rolled high. I have no doubt you have much to offer, perhaps even in this state, and certainly more once you are restored. However, that price would be too high, and it is not simply my decision to make whether to take that burden on.
Perhaps you are wise. The one head should confer with the other four. How convenient. How relatable. I am fascinated by what you decide to do. Especially yourself. And then you hear this screech resurfacing. And she screams almost not to you, Virgil. Must you taunt me as well? Isn't it enough that I am reminded of what was before? And her voice fades out of your mind, Virgil. Which brings us to Walnut. As the scream echoes, almost to the point where your ears start to ring from the constant sound, you feel this savage hunger for vengeance against treacherous figures. It courses through your veins. It almost gets your heart rate up and your breath quickening. I have been betrayed more than once, but none have bested me. And before the end of all things, those who have wronged me will pay.
Walnut feeling those like instinctual vengeance feelings. And I'm just gonna flavor it because we're in the far realms. To everybody else, you can see almost her like trying to hold back, going into a wolf wild shape, where like fur's like coursing over her skin, and just like she's having like a physical reaction to these feelings. And even in her mind when she's talking to Tiamat, it's like a wolfish like growl. It's like very, very, very hungry and like bestial. And Walnut just says, I did not wrong you today. And I have those who've wronged me. I am just trying to right are wrong. You know what that feels like.
Are you really feeding me the two wrongs make a right? Or your justification of your participation?
Walnut chuckles, and it's like a deep guttural chuckle that like comes from beyond her voice. That just, sounds like it's, echoing inside of that dire wolf self. And Walnut just says, I'm not feeding you anything. I'm just looking to get fed what's mine.
Tell me, what do you feel is yours then?
And Walnut just says, to go home, to my forest, to my wife, to be left alone. And she pauses for a second and then goes, I'm sure you have a version of this you'd like too. The faster you tell me what it is, the faster we both can get what we want.
So you're another one of them, aren't you? One of those who like to commune with nature. One who... I met one like you before. A sweet, sweet little thing. She even gave me a flower. I trusted her words. To the very end.
Walnut goes, did she steer you wrong?
I died in her arms while her friends sought my demise.
Oh, Walnut goes, Walnut says, in like a low growl, she goes, my memory's only as long as my last meal. But if you get me what I want, we can chew on our bones together.
Willing to play then, aren't you?
Tail wag. Yes.
What a good little agreeable creature you are.
She snarls a little bit. You can tell that she's getting talked to like a dog, but she also kind of can't help it.
Yes. There's potential in you. I can see it, much like the other little one. There might be some reasoning with your nature.
Just at this point, it's just like panting and yipping. There's like no actual verbal communication happening now.
And you hear this and it evolves into this scream of torture.
Walnut just howls, full on.
And as Walnut's howl starts to reach all of your ears, Tiamat screams subside from your minds, and you're all left looking at each other, not knowing you have each had contact with her, but all clearly able to see something has just happened to each one of you, just from the expressions on your face.
She's desperate.
Is anyone else starving?
I have pies.
I don't want those pies.
Are you sure you haven't tried them?
No.
Walnut starts digging into one just with hands.
Yes.
She likes it.
It's all over her face. It's just like gushing down,
It's hard to tell with this new Far Realm outfit, though.
That's true.
Melds with the sea creatures.
Virgil, after Kent says desperate, wants to make a deal, needs help, but wants to make it seem like it's her idea.
That's fine.
Can Strix like walk over to Evelyn and just be like, "Did you talk to Tiamat? Did you have this?" I just talked to.
It seems like she's tired of being in timeout.
It seems like that as well. I mentioned Lathander for a moment. Did you feel that?
Yes.
That's
That
what I
was
thought.
you?
Well,
You
I'm just.
and Lathander are getting so close.
No, we're not.
It's
We're not
so
close.
great.
No, we're not.
Cannot wait till you and I can
Lathander-
bask in the glory of the Morning Lord together.
No. Lathander is like Durnan. You know, when we go to the yawning portal and Durnan is there. Lathander is like that for me. Like maybe I will talk to Durnan briefly, but we are not friends.
We're
Anyway.
not friends.
Tiamat is extremely desperate. Evil god. Will not be nice. That's usually not a good sign. So we cannot trust anything that she says. I offered her a pie. That's only because it will be poisoned.
Well, it seems like the world will end if we don't unground Tiamat. And it seems like Lathander wants us to do that. It's been helping us do that. So it's pretty simple to me. Seems like that's what we got to do.
Evil and good have to remain in balance. Otherwise the multiverse explodes.
Mostly good though. Mostly just
doesn't
good
really
has to be
sound
in
like-
balance.
Just
That doesn't sound
Yeah.
like a balance.
wait.
actually.
Because
talk-
you know when you smite evil, then it has the chance of becoming good.
We'll talk about this later, Evelyn. We'll have a
Okay.
little. I can give you a presentation.
I'll talk about evil and good anytime.
I'll make some post-it notes, and we can just talk about it. And,
About how great it is to be good.
yeah. Walnut, are you okay?
Walnut's down on all fours with whatever the pie tin is, and is just like,
There's no
Real-
pie tin. It wasn't a pie. It was just a whole tentacle.
oh, Walnut is
Years.
really just having like a sense memory. Okay, so she's down on the ground with the tentacle going, her. And she just like mutters out in between, like trying to tear the flesh off. Says, let's just give her what she wants. Let's get out of here. This should be easy.
Virgil, Kent, how did you have similar discussions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gods are funny like that, aren't they? They can accept that they don't have power even when they've got none. And I agree. I mean, Bahamut and Lathander sent us and balance but I just want us to be careful. She, even in death, doesn't believe. I used to study Talona, the goddess of disease and poison.
Oh yes, yeah, I know her. Yeah.
Yeah, she would play the long game and leave things around even after she disappeared in the time of troubles, and I just
My favorite.
I just want us to be careful when we bring her back, because I don't think she would hesitate to bite the hands that resurrected her.
That's a really
No.
good point.
We are in absolute mortal danger of being consumed by an evil god.
I don't know. She seemed pretty reasonable.
If she wants to deal, maybe we could make her a deal that would offer us and the world some protection.
Even for just a time.
I don't know if we are necessarily the ones to strike that deal. We'd have to bring in some.
Lathander?
There are other gods.
I don't know how it surprises me every time.
Lots
still.
of them. There's evil. There's lots of them. Maybe Lathander and some friends. Let's just say Lathander and some friends. Maybe
I'm Lathander's friend. You're Lathander's friend.
We were sent here by a god. I think
Yes.
that would be.
but I will say, never forget that these gods, Lathander is just as meddlesome and just as dangerous as Tiamat.
I thought you said Lathander's metal, and I have to agree.
No, that's not what I said. Metal as 2 Ds, not 2 Ts.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, they are just as dangerous because they also have an agenda. They all do.
And for good.
No, for power. For power. It's an agenda for power.
Even in her weakened state, she's trying to bargain. She acts as though she has the upper hand and almost mocks us for being the ones who have been sent to help. So she is.
And go ahead.
Yeah. No,
as you say that, Virgil and everyone else at the same time, you hear her again. You seek me. You wish to witness my majesty. So be it. But you will tell me first. What will you say to me when you stand before me at last? What pledge do you give?
All of us hear that?
Mm-hmm.
This person is delusional. Why is she asking us for a pledge? She needs to be saved. I think that this discussion has gone on long enough. We are going to save Tiamat. Tiamat
slowly
gets to make no demands.
The hand just like,
Yeah.
it's like, no.
Evelyn, a deal? What is a deal with a god if not a contract? A deal is a deal. We just have to draw up our deal, have her agree to it, and hold up our end of it. That's all. We do that all the time. How many agreements are you under right now? We're all under a bunch of agreements. And besides, Tiamat was pretty nice to me. She had only nice things to say. She said I had potential. So
Walnut.
I think she's going to be very easy to work with. I don't know how the rest of your conversations went, but I think it's going to be easy breezy in and out.
So let's decide what are the tenets of our deal with Tiamat.
We are not making a deal. No. Has anyone ever?
Good one.
No. We are not making a deal with Tiamat. This is no. Put the quill goes away back in the back.
Why?
Hey, I don't tell you to put your tentacles away. Don't tell me to put my quill and vellum away.
That's very fair.
We do not make deals with evil powers. This is just something we do not do. That is Lathander's job. That is the good side's God's job. That is not our job as mere current mortals. Perhaps one day we are not mortals. But currently, we are extremely fragile. What we do now is we listen to Bahamut and we do exactly what he says, and then we fix this problem. And then later on, we come back and we steal a dead god's essence and we become gods ourselves.
You had me until the steal dead god's essence.
That might be my own personal goals, but all I'm saying...
We did pass a lot on the way here.
We did. There's a lot. They're just like hubcaps on the side of the road. But listen, all we have to do is listen to Bahamut. Bahamut will take care of everything because they are a good god and they will fix everything because that's their job as a good god.
So we don't need to tell Tiamat not to kill us.
Oh, if she can't kill us. She can't do anything. She is currently in this box. But
we're gonna go free her. We're gonna save her.
We are not saving her. We are releasing her because she needs to be out to create balance.
I think we have a piece of Bahamut that will resurrect her corpse, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I agree with Strix. I don't see what she could possibly. I know. I heard it too. Listen. I can't imagine another situation in which this sentence can be stated and be true, but we have the power over this god. Now, admittedly, we don't have a huge choice because there is a worse power waiting in the wings, but if we don't give her that piece of her brother that we have, what can she do to us?
Absolutely
Scream a lot in our
nothing.
heads, which admittedly was unpleasant, but
Okay, so look, I'm from a horse town, right? So let me just give you this metaphor, okay?
yes.
You have this stallion, and it's mad. It's been cooped up way too long. It's inside a stall. It's kicking the walls. It's biting whatever it can get its little teeth on. And you need to let the stallion out because it needs to run around in order to get out the wiggles, right? But as soon as you open the stall door, you might be the one getting trampled or getting bit. And even though that's the right thing to do, stallion doesn't care, right?
Oh, it was like that one time Waffles mauled me when she wanted to have a baby.
Yes, exactly like that. So I'm just saying, if there could be a moment of how could we protect ourselves from this rampaging stallion, that wouldn't go amiss. I'm certain that Lathander already has a plan for that. I'm just saying that's where I'm coming from. Horses are great.
So do we have a deal?
Oh, she asked if we had a deal. We have a
No,
deal.
no!
No. Oh.
Fine,
So
you're the
be it.
documents. Oh my god.
Oh, boy.
I'm
And
just-
you hear her voice reverberating through your heads, almost like the it fades into the quiet of your minds. And I think here's an excellent place to call it for a break.
Yes.
Oh, a different flavor of Tiamat.
So just remember, stick around. We have some fun things for giveaways in the chat, and we'll see you in about, let's say 10 minutes or so. Sound
Great.
good? All right. We'll see you in a bit, everyone. Welcome back. And thank you for sticking around with us. Remember, stay tuned to find out who our winners were from our giveaways over the break, but the giveaways are done. Stop putting in the commands in the chat. Just a little side note. So as we left you, the so be it of Tiamat's dulcet tones fades in your thoughts as a deal is made.
Wait, what was the
Now,
deal? Walnut,
we have
what was
no
the deal?
idea.
What did we make?
Yeah, we
What
don't know
deal?
what the deal was. Yeah.
So that was my next question. So who is with Walnut in terms of declaring it's a deal?
Oh no.
But what was Walnut? What did you write down? What was the deal?
What did I write down?
You were making the contract that you were
Yeah.
going to make the deal with.
I know. And so Walnut pulls out her piece of vellum, and Walnut just says, well, based on all business mode.
Oh.
Based on my conversation with Tiamat wanted justice on people that had wronged her, and I also wanted justice on people that had wronged me. And so I said that I would help her in exchange for her helping me. And I just wanted to get home to my wife in my forest. And I'm sure, that sentiment in here as it's worded would also include whatever y'all wanted.
Is that how legal documents work? That the sentiment is implied?
See, this is sort of where you get into, and I don't expect you to get like the legalese of it.
I just went to school for like 23 years.
No, I know. No, and legalese is just like it's like a type of Elvish. So, but Walnut is like vamping for a second, and then she gets to the bottom. She goes, "Oh yes, okay, here we go." So you were talking about how we don't want to get murdered. So this does say that Tiamat can't murder us, and then an addendum about or our loved ones, which I thought was,
excellent.
Decent. But I actually, it's real vague on what we're gonna do for her, except that we are gonna do it, and then she maybe can't murder us or our loved ones.
I'm like raising my hand. Like,
yes, Strix, questions.
so usually when an evil god asks you to do something and they will save your loved ones, they destroy everyone else. So is there anything about who is going to be destroyed if we get what we want, which is selfish and against the nature of the universe? How many other people will die?
Well, consider, and I mean, Strix, we've been over this, that society's time reigning as sort of like the dominant structure of the realms is it's going to come to an end at a certain point, and everything will be covered with forest. So if this expedites that, then I say that we just kind of chalk it up to a win.
I'm familiar with it, yeah.
I have always said that I am ready to retreat back into the forest, but having lived alone in the forest for 80 years by myself, it's not great. I really don't want to do that again. It's not something that I recommend for everyone. And I don't think that we are in the position to push that choice onto others.
Well, you can try ripping up this. You can try ripping the contract up.
Of course, I take it immediately.
So as you take the contract in hand, Strix, you all notice that the box begins to emanate a glow.
Oh, no.
And this glow gathers into this mote of light. And you see it rises up and it hovers between the five of you, almost dancing and swirling and lightly bouncing a little bit in this silvery glow. And then you see it sort of pause for a moment and then immediately shoots right towards the spelljamming helm of the ship.
No.
And it goes right in and absorbs with this little flash of light of platinum with a little bit of shadow sort of wound within the light itself. And you hear the captain shout from the helm, "I have no idea what you just did, but I have coordinates."
Oh, great. Problem solved.
See,
I certainly
there you go.
I wasn't going back in there, so yeah.
And for you, Walnut, since you so confidently said deal, Tiamat does bestow her favors.
Oh.
And you receive the dead god's boon, which is essentially you gain a choice of a +1 bonus attack to attack rolls, a +1 bonus to AC, a +2 bonus to weapon damage rolls, or a +1 bonus to your spell's saving throw DCs. You can change this bonus, applies each time you finish a long rest. Depending on the bonus chosen, a character who gains this boon shows a subtle draconic connection. For example, a bonus to AC might manifest as a subtle pattern of scales on skin or armor. A bonus to attack damage rolls might manifest as a pulse of cold, fire, lightning, suggestive of a chromatic dragon's breath on a successful attack, and so forth. And I will put this into our chat so you have this to reference for yourself. But yes, Tiamat was not fooling around with you. She really was making a deal.
Wow. I feel that, and there's a tinge where I was like, oh, it worked. Oh no, the dragon flavors is bad. A little bit of buyer's remorse on that one, but that's the only part of it that is remorseful. Everything else, great.
We had to kill a great worm to get something like that.
Well, we technically,
Semantics are not important right now.
Are they not?
Did you try just being nice to the worm?
Okay, so we weren't actually.
We weren't strictly there.
No.
But we
that was
watched.
Sort of, yes. And they were very effective.
It seems like that happens a lot when dragons are involved with us. We were on Mount Tiamat too, kind of watching.
Okay, well, I'd like a dragon-free vacation, I think.
Oh,
You should come with me to the beach. I mean, we had a puppet wizard try and kill us, but there were no dragons.
That sounds horrifying. I'm glad I stayed home.
We're getting off track. You okay, Walnut?
Yeah, I just kind of feel a little. She like hiccups and then burps, and there's just like little outbursts of cold fire. She's like,
Yes.
oh, far realms are wacky.
I told you not to be friends with the evil dragon god. Whatever. No, that's fine.
So as you're discussing things with each other, Virgil, you hear a very familiar little voice in the distance, actually coming from the same room as the captain.
Oh, no.
Daddy taught me new game. Photos fetch! And you hear dunk, and the captain screaming, "One of you needs to get the two of them out of here. Right now."
Photos?
Psycho?
And you hear little gas like,
Uh-huh.
Daddy's mad.
Both of us.
I walk over and stand right next to Virgil and just sort of elbow him a little bit, and then have one of my spectral arms do the same thing as before, except like with a stern finger instead of an inviting hand. Your tentacle, come on.
Yeah, no, Virgil's arms are folded, and the tentacles that are sort of like are just kind of doing this against his shoulders in a very impatient manner.
They don't come out. Much like children who are in trouble. They aren't listening.
Okay, but we
But you know exactly where they are.
All right, come on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start going that way to get him. Oh, he's in so much trouble making me go all the way over there to get him to.
Yeah, where are they? Just like they're like they're ahead of it. Where are they?
They're in the helm.
They're with the captain in the helm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go over and get him.
Yeah, Virgil starts walking, and as he gets close enough, actually teleports directly into the room using Misty Step. And there is just like this dark fog and these dark clouds that all of a sudden it's like, and he's in here. We told you to come out and see us.
And then Kent bustles in the room running because Virgil's popped ahead of the two of them. Throws up in the room. Yeah.
And you see the two of them very much get like these very wide eyes and open mouth expressions. And actually each of their wings kind of wrap around each other and they kind of pull closer.
Oh.
And you can tell they look very bad. And Tycho says, Daddy, try and play with photos. And they kind of slink down a little bit lower. And Photos looks at you, Ken, and goes, Photos don't fetch well.
Okay, but they are
Give me a
playing...
perception check.
Okay. They are playing together, so
I see that. I see that.
I know.
It's a 24.
Oh, thank God, because mine's a 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Virgil, you have the advantage of like poofing into the room right quick and having the advantage of looking quickly as waiting for Kent to arrive. And you see that the helm itself is okay. The captain seems fine, if not just irritated. And the captain assures you, we're still on course, but they cannot play fetch in here. And she kind of nods her head over, and you see that the staff that you have discarded is actually sticking out of a little portion of the wall. And it kind of, as you make eye contact with it, it clunks to the floor, and you do see that it has left a mark in the wall. And every so often there's a slight spark that's going on.
Virgil looks at that, turns to Carstairs. Is this going to affect us getting to our destination?
I mean, I don't think so. The ship's still going forward. Haven't lost anything that I can tell. And I mean, ships like this get hit all the time with various bits of magic and what have you. It's a little dent, and we could probably patch it up later.
Hearing that, Virgil picks up the quarterstaff and kind of shrugs. Wasn't our ship anyway, and starts to leave.
Kent has like a little like parental upwelling when he realizes that actually like no harm was actually done. So as Virgil starts to leave, I turn to the captain and I just say, listen, I understand that you have a ship to run here, but next time I would really prefer that you come to one of us before yelling at the children. I mean dragons.
Noted. And she kind of like hunkers down a little bit more, and she goes, we good to go now?
Yes.
Then let the others know, if you don't mind. And
tell the others.
There's sort of this icy parting between the two of ruffled feathers, and you all feel the ship sort of start accelerating through the void of the far realm, and the bleak darkness of the far realm void hangs around the ship like a silent shroud. Cold stars shiver in the distance as Hieronymus speeds towards its destination, with a number of those stars suddenly shifting position and growing larger, as if drawing closer to you, then freezing again. In the distance, the void ripples from time to time, like it might be flowing with water or spawning fields of weaving tentacles, spawned from nothingness, tasting emptiness, and then withdrawing back into the darkness again. And as you proceed through this darkness, you begin to realize after some time that there is this point in the distance that isn't this black void. And the closer you get, it begins to take shape. And you realize that it's rather similar to the other husks you saw in the Astral Sea. But this one is pretty much out in the open void on its own. You don't see any husks floating around it. And as the Hieronymus draws closer, a sudden shiver suddenly passes through the ship, marking the deceleration of flying speed. The oily void ahead begins to ripple. Then black clouds part as you pass through them and see what lies beyond. There is no sense of its origin, no sense of how it might have transformed from one of the stone monuments of the Astral Sea. But whatever process of corrupted and malignant growth spawned it, the husk of a dead god hangs in the void before you now, like an inert dead moon, 1,000 feet across, its oily black surface gleaming with a dim light. That light shows where a writhing, coiled spire of teeth has been driven into the husk like a living nail, its point plunged deep. Circling the husk in slow, drifting orbits, a half-dozen spelljamming ships stand sentry, all showing the blackened corruption of the far realm and creating a gauntlet that Hieronymus must pass through. And as these ships make their orbit, you see blipping into formation more and more and more and more of these ships, creating this almost pinwheel formation moving around as the count becomes innumerable. But even more daunting is the view higher up, where a blood-red star hangs impossibly close. Streams of energy rise up from the coiled spire, twisting across the void as the star feeds. And you received a description from Bahamut earlier, and you realize this is your destination.
Oh.
You don't think we can just open the box here, do you?
What if we just throw it really hard?
Agreed.
I was actually thinking we should throw the box.
Just chuck it.
Ugh. I don't think we can throw it.
No, I don't actually.
Probably
but
not.
I was just
Nice if we could.
waiting
It would
for
be a
someone
great
to.
thing.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's fine.
Are we
It was a nice moment of reprieve, though.
was.
Give me an insight check.
Oh, can we throw it? Wait a
Okay.
minute.
Oh my god, please.
How about an insight check, just in general? We'll discuss throwing the box later.
Evelyn
Oh, this
thinks
isn't
throwing
about
the
the
box
box.
is a
Okay.
great idea with a natural one.
Mhm.
She thinks that
Yes.
probably will totally work.
I got a 12.
19.
17.
Okay.
Oh, Walnut, yes.
Ooh.
Ooh, a big, chunky 24.
Ooh. All right. So what you notice is that your arrival in the Hieronymus doesn't seem to be ill-timed or being registered by these other ships, as more and more and more keep gathering, looking very similar to the exterior of the jet black hull of the Hieronymus.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh no.
Cool.
We
I
love to blend in.
That's right, you blend.
Absolutely.
blend. Walnut's counting. She's like 1, 2. Hey, are there supposed to be this many at this place right now?
Maybe they're trying to help Tiamat too.
That worries me.
Can I Arcana check that sun?
Sure.
I mean, I just know magic, so I'm like, is this a magic thing or what is this? Like, I just want to know. I just want to know. I think that's a 21.
All right, with a 21, you're definitely able to tell that this red star is involved with the ritual that's being performed, essentially.
Oh,
That is playing a
there's a
part.
ritual.
That's
Oh.
that's the Hadar, right? That's trying to eat Tiamat's
Yep,
power.
Hadar. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are definitely connected to each other.
I think I keep willing myself to forget about that part of the problem.
Fair, very fair.
There's nothing
Yeah.
to discuss here.
When you say that, I go, oh, that's the Hadar. It's part of the problem.
Thanks, Strix.
So should we throw the box at the star?
I don't think we can
We're not
throw
throwing-
it. I don't think we can.
All right.
Well,
all right.
maybe
Also,
Evelyn could actually.
honest-
Maybe Evelyn could throw
honestly,
it. We probably can.
If in case we remember the baby chicks and the vampires and all the other things, if we throw it, it's just gonna spin around
Oh,
the
that's
ship.
right. That's true.
So we
Well,
can't
they're
throw
not-
it. So
They're not
Uh,
registering our approach. They're not taking. It's like the ship is already supposed to be here.
Well,
I
go ahead.
I just hate this. There's nothing
Yeah.
else. I hate the teeth. The teeth are sending me. That's it.
It does super feel like the more we hate it, the more on the right path we are. So maybe let's ride this blending in for as long as we can. Look, we have the look. We have served the look. So let's, yes, you too, babe. So let's see how far it takes us.
All right, give me a perception check, everyone.
I got a 13.
17.
Okay.
Evelyn is still trying to figure out how far she could throw the box.
Oh my
And
god.
got a 5.
Walnut got a 30.
Yes.
Oh my
Alright.
god.
So 25 for Virgil.
Yes.
All right, so Kent, Virgil, and Walnut, you all notice looking at these ships because there are more that are sort of getting closer to you. Yes, you all look the part, but there's also active crewmen around the other ships. You also have an active crew who have not been corrupted by what happened with the cosmic horror.
Hmm.
So,
Mm,
with that
Everybody
in
below
mind-
decks.
Wait. We can just decorate them. We love a good decorating.
I mean, yeah, I haven't done a makeover like this before, but I'm sure we can make it work.
Don't we have some discarded tentacles still on the deck? I mean, this ship is covered in garbage.
I mean, most of it's probably from what Strix has been discarding anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just shedding off of me. It keeps coming back.
It's useful.
All I'm saying is all we need to do is cover them with some disgusting gore and they'll be fine.
Ugh.
Let's do it.
And you hear Carstairs from down from the helm shouting up, it's quiet. What's the plan?
I think it's just better if you let us do it and don't ask too many questions.
I mean,
Do you want me to get
earlier
closer?
Give us a second.
we're-
I'm gonna start
we're,
passing out tentacles.
Makeover time. Yeah.
Evelyn, you love
Kent-
makeovers.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I do. And I respect an aesthetic. And it is consistent. And I understand it. So yep. She picks up a tentacle. And goes to
As-
like put it
Oh no.
on one
Do
member
it.
of the crew.
Let's do it.
But then
So,
she kind
oh
of gets into it.
gosh.
She's like, there's maybe some ink on it, so she like kind of makes some eyeliner out of it.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and then there's like a kind of a like film, like maybe there was like some webbing or something, and she kind of like
Ooh.
makes a nice little sash for someone out of it.
I take some of the suckers on the tentacles and use them to like rouge up the
Ooh,
cheeks,
nice.
right?
This is
Yeah.
the most
like
beautiful
this.
thing Strix has ever seen.
Virgil's tapping people like as they're getting tentacled up, tapping them and using prestidigitation to basically like color their clothes black.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do
Okay.
that too. I'll prestidigitate everyone, like add some dirt and grime. It's like the opposite of what Strix does to Evelyn to clean her up.
hmm
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I'll
Okay.
take some like space barnacles off of the hull of the ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm inspired by Walnut's look, and I'm gonna add.
I was gonna say, as
some-
long as it's not off Walnut.
No,
It's just
no.
one. Strix will
They-
sneak one off of Walnut.
They just grow back immediately.
Oh no.
And yeah, Walnut's just mashing up Far Realm's corrupted good berries, which just look like a black, sickly jam, mushing them on people.
Nice.
All right,
Yes.
the crew is luckily playing along with this. They kind of get the idea once they start looking around and realizing that, you know, so far no attacks or advancements have happened upon the ship. However, I'd like you all to give me either go with
Yeah, do tell.
deception
Sure.
or performance. I'm trying to think of what could cater to, you know.
Strix has done multiple disgusting makeovers, and it's usually performance, even though she has
Okay.
nothing in that.
Can I
Okay.
do a dexterity performance since we're like trying to
Oh,
be
yeah.
all
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good,
If you
'cause
want to
that's
give it a little spin with dexterity, let's go for
great.
that.
Good.
Wonderful.
I mean, I agree it's performance, but there could be an argument for it being persuasion.
That's
Trying to
true.
Persuade everyone that
Yeah.
we fit in.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, DM?
You know, I'm liking that idea because I have a feeling that probably a couple of them are not going to find this as fun, especially Anaka.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
There
I
is
really-
Anaka,
yeah.
the first mate, is going to be like, hell no, you're not putting
No.
tentacles on me. So yeah, I can see some persuasion involved with a couple of them.
No, yeah,
Yep.
we are reassuring the one crewman that it improves our odds of survival. We are reassuring
Okay.
the other crewman that this is probably the last job and then they can retire.
That's right. That's
We
right.
are reassuring the one that, like, you know, if you thought Strix's snacks were good before, they're amazing now. Like, you know.
It's also
Yeah,
like
Durs,
you know,
Durs
you're
is salivating
trying
at that one.
the persuasion of everyone that like we're meant to be here. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
you know we're just
Act
like you.
act like you belong.
Would
Cool.
you
Yeah.
would you accept like an 18 sleight of hand for getting it on Anaka? Just like
I like how we're yes, I will
Yes.
accept this argument.
I'm
Absolutely.
glad you said yes to persuasion because I have a +10 and I rolled.
Oh
a
my
4.
God.
So I got
Okay.
14.
I'm glad you said yes to persuasion because I can't get less than a 19 on it. So
There you
Hey.
go.
I know I suggested this, but I rolled a 1. So
oh no.
that's
are
perfect. That's
we are
perfect.
faking
So I have a
it
feeling
until
like
we
you've
make
been
it.
trying to help out Twensa. That's the plasmoid navigator, and every single time you try and put something on it, just sort of like sloughs back off. It doesn't quite stay in place, or what does sort of suspends in an odd way, so you can tell it's not supposed to be there.
yeah,
It's almost like you get a layering effect in some
Ugh.
places.
it's just not. I'm really frustrated. I just keep throwing tentacle after tentacle, and there's just a pile of tentacles on the deck now.
Yeah. But with all your quick thinking, you have been able to roughly disguise the crew to look like they belong more.
Love a group
And
chat.
yes. And Carstairs takes the initiative and realizes that, you know, clearly whatever you're supposed to do is not supposed to be all the way out here. You're going to need to get closer. So Carstairs begins to maneuver and navigate the Hieronymus closer to the husk of what you have figured out is pretty much Tiamat at this point. So that's going to be some checks, and I'm gonna have 3 of you help me out with this one. Let's see here. Let me get D6 out. So a 1 and a 4 will be you, Virgil. A 2 and a 5 will be you, Evelyn. And a 3 and a 6 will be you, Walnut, to figure out who's going to roll first for us. Okay, so I got a 3. So, Walnut, roll for me first.
Okay. Which check is this?
Straight up D20.
No.
Oh no.
I don't.
Oh, wait, so it's Arcana. Sorry, take it back. Give me one of your Arcana checks.
So a straight D20.
Okay.
Exactly.
You said what you said.
Somehow a 14.
Add a 6 to that. So you got a 20.
Dirty, filthy 20.
Hey.
Yep. Perfect for the far realm. Okay, so that takes care of our first roll,
Woo.
which is a success. Okay, I'm going to roll again because that's another walnut. I got a 2 this time. So that is Evelyn.
That was me, yeah.
Yeah.
And you wanted a
Arcana.
which check? Arcana.
Yeah.
I was hoping I had heard wrong. Ooh, nat 20 though.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be a 26 total then.
Oh,
Very
I am
nice.
nervous now.
Okay, which then leaves Kent, right?
I have a
Virgil.
last though.
Oh, it was
for-
me.
Virgil,
Yeah.
Virgil is our last to go.
I had
Your turn.
22 total. Did that matter?
I mean, you got it over. You
Okay.
knocked it out of the park, so you're good.
All
right, last roll.
Arcana. Oh, dear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. That's a 15.
Okay, plus 6, then you're good.
Oh.
So as Carstairs starts maneuvering this, and you're all adding in your finishing touches to the crewmen, and they're moving around and sort of mimicking what's going on the other ships to, oh yeah, you blend and make your way to, you actually realize that Carstairs has actually gotten you very close to where it is quite possible to touch down on the surface of the husk.
I mean, I guess this is what we wanted.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
It's what someone wanted, but yeah, we are here now.
That god husk.
Oh, Strix.
I misty step immediately over to it.
Oh boy.
Now, Misty Step is 30 feet, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you're probably about 60 feet still up. Hasn't quite gotten to the point of landing.
Okay, I wait.
You wait. Cool.
But I still do
You hear
my
Carstairs.
I'm so proud of you.
I still do my greedy hands.
Excellent. Carstairs will reach out to you all and basically explain that as soon as you are off the ship, she can then go back and start maneuvering around in orbit in sync with the other ships to keep blending. And it's one of those things where she kind of looks at all of you like, anyway, you could all, one of you might be able to let me know all's good. You're ready for a pickup or anything like that?
There's something tells me it's going to be abundantly clear when we have achieved our goal.
Or if we haven't.
I can fireball into the sky.
Like twice as high.
Anyone have like a sending spell or anything like that? Something more subtle?
Oh, that's fair.
But
Yeah,
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, like, I just have message. I don't have anything like sending. Wait, do I? No, I don't think so. We never need stuff like that.
I know. We just yell at each other.
I was like, oh.
Well, I guess a fireball's good at signals, any.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, fireball it is. And she kind of like squares her shoulders and resolve. And she goes, just let me try and get you a little bit closer so it's a softer landing.
Oh,
And
thanks.
as she starts maneuvering the ship and you're all on the helm with her, you'll notice that she kind of gets this concerned look on her face and the ship begins to shudder a little bit. And you see Kent and Virgil, that hole in the wall starts sparking a little bit more.
Oh.
That Tychos created while playing fetch with photos.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
And
Babe, your kid's screwing the shit up.
Can I run over there and cast mending? I do have mending.
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm just gonna like, I'll kind of yank the staff out. Is it still in the
The
wall?
staff's already out.
No,
It's
yeah,
just,
the
it's
staff's
like, it
out.
looks like someone threw a softball through a window.
Okay,
type of
okay,
situation.
good. Then I'll just cast mending on the wall.
Okay, so as Strix casts mending on the wall, it takes about a minute for it to resolve itself, and the ship's shaking finally stops. And you see Carstairs kind of, okay, breathe a little sigh of relief, and hovers closer to the surface of the husk. And yeah.
See, I took mending instead of sending. So
Oh, yeah.
Ultimately, probably worth it.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a wise choice in this case.
See, listen, it's fine.
So as you get closer to the surface and you see, sort of like, when you pull into dock type of thing with a ship, you're getting more and more details. So the surface of the husk is a curving field of crumbling stone shot through with black rot and scabrous corruption. But this stone moves as if alive. Ridges rise and fall across a horrid landscape, thrusting up as spires of stones that crumble like breaking waves. Cracks open and closing along the ground at random, oozing red-black ichor, and sudden seismic shifts send vents of black dust into the air. Ahead, the shivering apex of the coiled spired temple is just visible above the shifting horizon. So keep in mind, when you get on there, it has some interesting movement to it.
Oh.
That's okay. I'm all terrain now.
Oh no.
I like-
Unbelievable.
Throw up a couple of tentacles.
Oh. Okay.
All right,
should-
so just keep in mind, when you get on there, you're going to have some fun little things with gravity happening. Every so often, you might get disadvantage on strength and dexterity saving throws. Just FYI, just so you know.
I'm
So
excited.
how are you getting off the ship and heading towards clearly what your only target is? That is the only thing you see on this surface besides the undulating, crackling skin of the husk is really the best way to explain it.
Go ahead.
Oh, how do you get off a
No,
soldier?
you go ahead.
Well, is there like
It's so
a boarding ladder somewhere? I mean, we picked up this ship, so
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
If we
you'll
can just
probably find
toss
something.
one over.
Okay.
Yeah. Ugh.
All right. So who's going down via ladder and who's going to use a handy dandy Misty Step?
I actually think I changed my mind on the Misty Step after watching the undulating nastiness. And I'm like, that's really gross. And I just get on my broom. So my staff turns into a witch broom, and I will just
handy.
I'll just fly down and kind
Okay.
of hover.
I'm gonna keep the spell slot. Evelyn is used to flying and kind of goes like she's gonna hop over the side of the ship, but then like kind of hangs by one tentacle for a second, and then is like, and then goes to take the ladder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate this.
Love it. I'll take the ladder.
Ladder.
Yeah, ladder.
The sensible
ladder.
ladder. Yes.
The sensible ladder. All right. So 4 by ladder and 1 by broom. As you get onto the surface and you start making your way, you probably make it about a third of the way towards the temple spire that you see in the distance. And I would like you all to give me, let's
Oh no.
Strix,
Oh,
you're
my
actually
God.
okay since you're flying.
I was just gonna say,
Oh,
I hope Strix is staying on the broom at least.
Oh, I'm staying
Yeah.
on the broom. I'm looking at that ground like,
Mm-mm.
Yep. So Strix, you're going to be fine on your broom as long as you stay on the broom. However, the rest of you, if you are traversing this on the surface, at this point, I will need either a strength or a dexterity saving throw as you suddenly feel the ground shifting underneath you and hearing this crackling sound as a spire brittly starts to collapse nearby all of you.
Oh no! And is that with disadvantage?
That is with disadvantage. Yes.
Yeah.
But you have +4.
Great.
There you go.
Oh man,
Oh,
I critted
no.
on my first one.
Oof.
Ugh.
All right. Well, mine was a deck save, and it ended up with the +4 at an 18.
Okay, so you are good.
21
know
for
about
Evelyn.
Evelyn's good.
14 for Walnut.
All right, noted for Walnut. Virgil?
14.
Okay, so Kent and Evelyn, you're making it through just fine. However, for Virgil and Walnut, you almost hear the sound as the crumbling is happening, and the spire starts collapsing near you, kicking up more rubble and dust. And it's one of those things where you actually sort of stumble and fall onto your knees. And you will take...
Oh, God, don't put more of your body on this surface.
You will take 4 bludgeoning on this one as you try and right yourself after the fall.
Rude.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
as like it's the weirdest thing, but as Virgil like falls to the ground and takes the damage, you actually see the staff do almost the reverse of glow, like it somehow gets darker. And both Virgil and the staff sort of in this like reverse explosion vanish. And as part of the Elder staff, when I take damage, I can use its charges to turn invisible and teleport myself 60 feet to an unoccupied space and remain invisible.
All right, so for the rest of you...
there's a whoop.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Virgil.
I've vanished.
Virgil!
There we go. And for Walnut, the same has happened to you. And you are able to stand up, but when you stand up, you do have a bit of this sort of like woozy, disoriented feeling from the dust and the rock that's kicked up around you.
Yeah, no, I hate this. I immediately wild shape into something that is not this. Like, yeah,
Fair?
that's certainly my bonus action. Oh, and why would it be anything cool and useful? We're gonna do old standby. We're gonna do a tiny beast, the hawk. A hawk. Yeah.
Ooh. Question.
And I get on the broom. What?
This is a hawk in the far realm.
Oh no.
What
Ooh.
does this hawk look like?
What a great question. Okay. Get ready. Oh, it looks like a bird that has been doused in an oil slick. She really struggles to fly. She doesn't make like a bird noise. She makes a like instead of that like very proud, craw noise. It is the sound of just sound of like 50 roaches scurrying comes out of her mouth when she yells. And for the sea creature like flavor, I would just say like, she's just very whorled with barnacles. Not looking good. It's a disgusting bird.
Okay.
Very cool.
And you land on my broom?
No, but she's like she's like following after you, like trying to get at you.
Oh, okay. And I'm just like,
Yeah, great. Love it.
Excellent. So, Virgil, do you wait for your companions to catch up with you, or do you keep moving forward? Because you sort of accelerated beyond them.
Yeah, Virgil holds position as far forward and actually uses message to tell Kent that he is fine.
Virgil! Oh.
And yeah, like I just scouted ahead a little bit.
Usually my job, but totally fine. You did a great job. Didn't even see you go. He's fine.
All right.
A warning,
He's fine.
but it's
Everything's fine.
It's fine.
It's totally fine.
We're all fine here now.
Everything's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So you keep making your way closer to the spire of the temple that you see. And of course, like any distance you travel, as you get closer, you see more and more of this construction, if you will, making itself evident. And as you're about, probably 120 feet away, I'd like you all to give me, those of you who are not airborne, I'd like you all to give me another either dexterity or strength check, please. Saving throw, rather. Not check. Saving throw.
At disadvantage or normal?
It's still disadvantage because you're still on the surface of the husk.
And don't forget your +4.
The +4.
Making it
That needs to be
another
a shirt.
14 for me. Yeah, right?
23.
Nice.
14 again.
14 again.
Listen, you and I are consistent.
Yes, very much so. So again, the ground sort of, this time it's almost like the plates are gliding over each other and you don't realize it, and they suddenly pull apart from one another. So your legs get literally pulled out from underneath you. But it's one of those things where, because you've already been through this, part of you is anticipating it, and you manage to sort of like ride it quickly enough, and you manage to keep going forward without much incident. You're kind of getting a feel. Oh, that sounds horrible. Not a feel for this land. Do you really want to get a feel of this land? No. You get a better sense of how this land functions. How's that? And you're finally close enough where you can see the temple itself, the temple gate. The coiled spire of teeth that is Hadar's temple is even more grotesque. The massive structure shivers and convulses, where it continues to twist down through the surface of the husk, like a desperate parasite feeding deeply on its dying host. Approximately 50 feet of the spire extends above that surface, with an opaquely shadowed archway opening up at ground level and surrounded by aberrant guards. So,
Oh no. I should find.
one of you is invisible.
Fine.
Totally fine. Absolutely. I saw that and I understood that reference there. So, as you get closer to this archway, and you see that there are 4 figures in the distance, 2, understandably so, are sort of on either side of this archway, and of about medium build. And there is one who is a little bit more hulking in size, if you will, standing a little bit off to the southwest, let's say, of the archway. To the northeast, a little bit behind the archway area, you can see another figure of about a medium build as well. What would you like to do? Do you want to advance right away? Is there any type of preemptive action you want to take? Because it's not like you walked right up to the gate and knocked on it like, we want to see the wizard type of situation. I mean, you could.
I think we should either, I look at Kent and I'm like, you seem very persuasive, and I'm thinking maybe instead of trying to sneak, maybe we just try to perform.
Oh. Evelyn, I have enjoyed my time with you so much in the last few days, but I just really feel like you get me, and I appreciate that.
I think that, once things calm down and we're not trying to free a dead god or anything like that, maybe we could be buddies.
I would love nothing more.
Hopefully at some point we're not trying to free a dead god.
I mean, history shows us odds are bad, but we'll see.
Yeah. So why are we here? What's our story? What's our motivation?
We have come to really we've come for the celebratory performance that is to be executed at the end of Hadar's ritual. It can only take place with one of us for each of the great dead god's heads, and we have to perform.
Yes, we've been preparing for an eternity.
Oh, eternity. Yeah.
Okay, what are our cast assignments? Who's what god? We should know in case they ask. Everyone's interested in theater, so I'm sure that they will want to know everything.
100%. Virgil should take the blue head with the lightning. Let's see. I've only just met you on Strix does fire stuff. The red head.
I want the black one. I want the black one because it's spooky.
That makes sense. Great. Strix takes the blue. Okay. Strix will take the black head. What does it leave? Red, white, and green. Well, I feel like I should ask for volunteers before I just assign. Virgil, I assigned. It's fine.
Well, I'm assuming Walnut will want green for the forest.
Makes sense. Love that.
Walnut's just wheezing as a hawk. There's no way to know what she'd like.
And clearly panting because it's like, no, not enough oxygen for a hawk to fly in space.
Yes, exactly.
And I typically wear white, but I'm not attached. Whatever you're feeling.
No, I mean, I got a little of that infernal legacy heritage, so I'll take the redhead, and I'd always loved a ginger. And you can have the the white head.
Side, me too. Yeah. Okay, that sounds great. Are you the troop leader?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
That makes sense, and I'll be the assistant director.
Yes, of course.
I can be very persuasive as well.
Feels like Walnut's the stage manager, and
she immediately drops the hawk form and is like, incredible, yes. I'm ready to schedule. And Walnut's like, okay, that's 30 minutes, everyone. 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you, 30.
Thank you, 30.
30.
Thank you, 30 minutes. Thank you. Yes, great.
Yes,
wonderful.
yes, of course. Strix is in charge of craft services, and Virgil's my hot side piece. No, Virgil is sorry, I'm so distracted by all those tentacles. Virgil is the choreographer.
Oh.
It's largely fan based.
This is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think Strix, you should probably stay mostly quiet during this part.
Strix looks very confused, like
it's a stealth mission for you.
I'm not very good at those.
That's true.
That is, you know what? All you're gonna do is offer people snacks anyway, and that's right on character.
Strix is gonna like take like a rag from her like robe and just like tie it around her mouth. I mean, like, and then just like hold up the tentacles.
That's perfect. Great.
You've done this before.
Is there any magic we should do beforehand to just like make us even more convincing?
We have now reached the edge of my expertise.
Well, I can bless everyone, but that's technically for attacks or saving throws.
Strix just goes, and she summons a celestial to aid everyone, but it turns into Waffles, the owl bear, but she's covered in tentacles and a third eye.
Oh, Waffles. Poor thing.
Strix is like,
you can take that down and you can talk right now.
It's obviously one of us can use this. It was supposed to be not whatever this is, but this is new. A steed.
How does a steed make us more persuasive?
I don't know. She came out really weird looking.
I mean, yeah, she's impressive.
It feels like you two are talking past each other in a very strange way.
This is normal. This is our process.
Got it. Great.
She also fights really good. So whenever we get attacked, like now we have a big owl bear that's actually covered in tentacles.
Which of you is doing the talking?
I cover my mouth immediately.
All right, Kent.
Oh, Lord.
Wait, and so the goal is get inside. Where's the specific location we need to go?
Oh, what a good question. Do we know? I mean, I
Ron,
guess
is it in the
obviously our
contract?
performance is taking place in the main chamber.
Yes.
Oh.
Obviously.
Right.
definitely. And once, we arrive at the main chamber, it'll be clear. Maybe.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
clear what we do from there.
I
I'm
mean-
sure.
Is not he points up at the big red star leeching off of the dead Tiamat body. It's not subtle. So it feels like, once we're inside.
Right.
Mhm.
All right.
So you make your approach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as Kent is like is Kent or Evelyn doing the most of the talk? Kent talking?
Kent's starting, and Evelyn. The
yeah.
idea is maybe Evelyn is aiding to give
Please.
advantage.
And abetting.
Yeah. Virgil just claps a hand on Kent's shoulder, avoiding the other
The other shoulders.
shoulders and
Yeah.
arms.
And
And
as you
casts-
both of my shoulders have a hand on him, but as I see you coming, I'm like, all right. And this one lifts off for you.
Thank you for that. You've got this, hun. She does not have this. Virgil casts enhance ability to give advantage on charisma checks
Yes.
for Kent.
Is that double advantage if I'm aiding?
I mean,
I
yes.
We're going to be
Great.
very convincing, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Also, babe, listen. I know pet names aren't your thing, but could Han be a little less awkward next time?
it can be vastly more awkward.
All right.
So wait, real quick.
Yes.
So Walnut is Walnut knows one thing about trying to look like you're trying to go somewhere, and it's that you need to the fantasy equivalent of show up with a ladder and just kind of like walk in with confidence. And so she wants to try and do conjure animals, and instead of 8 beasts at a challenge rating of 1/4, what if we did like not 16 but 32 lizards as sort of like an homage to Tiamat herself? And so but when they show up, it's just a bunch of sticky, sad looking geckos. And Walnut immediately starts this affect where she's just like, we have to go. I need to get these geckos to the under the stage lights. And she's so
Pronto.
behind
Yes.
Kent and Evelyn, she's just looking
Yes.
extremely flustered. Like, are you gonna deal with these?
You
We
know, I'm
picked
going to
right
say
on the
yes
stage
to
manager.
this
Yeah.
Oh my
because if this carries over, I want to see B-Dave have to figure out what to do with these.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out.
Oh, yes.
That's far too. I'm saying yes to this one just because I can.
Oh,
To that
lizards.
I can. All right. So, as you start to make your way over, you have your plan enacted. Kent is the main speaker, Evelyn to support. You start getting closer, and you're able to start seeing these figures more. And you notice that this large hulking creature, it looks as though it is almost made of. This is really too on the mark for our conversation before the game. It almost has this jello-like body. On the inside.
Yes.
On the inside, you can see its skeleton and intestines stacked up, and the intestines coiling in the rib cage and into the pelvis bone and everything like that. And it has these vivid red glowing eyes and this large jowly jaw, sort of agape. And that's the one that's in the southwest area. And you can see the one standing on the other side of this gate. That Kent, this seems like, hey, they might be the ones to speak to because they too have multiple arms.
And I can't see. Is this also jello-y, or can I not see its spleen?
No. You cannot see through them. However, they do have this
Great.
hunched over, sort of emaciated look to them. And they don't have hands at the ends of their arm, but these very
That's
long,
okay.
pointy, extended claws that look very sharp and ready to shake your hand.
Mm.
And then in the distance, a little bit up towards that northeast side, you can see this figure standing in these bright purple robes with gold trim and this saggy flesh, because the coat's sort of open, and the saggy flesh, and then on the flesh, almost like freckles, we'll say, are these tentacles that kind of poke out and through and just kind of wiggle and do their own thing. And he has this grimace upon his face. And they have absolutely all seen you heading in their direction as you make your way towards them. And
very slowly, to be super clear, to make sure that we are all together. The geckos are ready.
Let's just say your approach isn't exactly subtle because of the geckos and everything else that is happening as well. So you can see that as these two figures that have the multiple arms with claws at the ends look at you and sneer, they start to make their way towards you. And from the sides of the arches, you see two more gelatinous-like creatures that sort of undulate their way down, looking almost amoeba-like. And they sort of hang at the top of the arch. Sort of like they're filling in where the guards have just stepped forward. And yes, let's get initiative going because you have basically just gotten the Star Spawn Manglers noticing you and not very happy about it at all.
I'm so glad.
Our performance of just like walking up and looking like we were meant to be here didn't work at all? Not even a performance check?
Not with these guys, no.
No. But you know what, though? Here's the thing, is that even if we don't get to do it out here, once we get inside, we're absolutely doing this show.
You still have your cover story, if anything.
Absolutely.
Okay. That is some consolation.
We're still doing this show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get the initiative going in here, please. Virgil, what did you get?
Virgil has some tech gremlins at the moment and will rejoin us shortly.
Evelyn, what did you get?
I got 19.
Ooh, that's a nice number.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn with a 19. Walnut?
Walnut got an 8 because she's just like really into these geckos right now.
Okay. Strix?
I got a nat 20.
Ooh.
But with my bonus, it's 21. So.
Okay. So Strix is a 21. And then Virgil?
Virgil's still not back, but Kent has a 21.
Oh, Virgil hopped out. I didn't even see that one. Sorry, I had a different screen over yours.
Oh, that's okay.
Kent, what did you get?
21 as well.
21 as well. Strix and Kent, who has the higher dex modifier?
Mine's +5.
Mine's only +1, so it's Kent.
Okay, so Kent will go first with a 21, and then Strix. All right. So that all being said and done, we will wait and see if Kent is able to jump back in. Let's just treat this as Kent, seeing what's happening, and that lovely staff kind of does a little and phases out to a different area, almost in a little bit of panic and not realizing the strength of his new weapon.
There you go.
Hopefully he will pop back into play soon enough. So Kent, let's start with you. As you see these two stars, I was going to say star-spangled maulers. That's not right.
I like it, though.
Wow.
Don't forget, I'm on the East Coast, folks, and it's been a long day. Star Spawn Manglers. As the two of them make their way towards you, Kent, what would you like to do since you get to go first?
I think I'm going to start approaching them with like hands up, being like, wait, we're here for the show. It's a very important part of the ritual. Look, I'll even show you the opening act. It goes like this. And then I will throw 2 daggers out of my bracers at the nearest one.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So as you throw the 2 daggers at the one,
Well, nope, it's fine. That's what I'm doing. And I'm just looking behind me like, okay, here we go, I guess. So the first one's a 21 to hit. Ooh.
A 21 will hit, and you'll be hitting the one that is closer to the western side of things.
Great. The second dagger's a 30 to hit.
That will also hit. So if you can give me the full damage on that one, that would be...
It's only 13 altogether, because I'm not an assassin and going first sucks.
Okay. All right, so 13 from that one, and we will proceed through Is there anything else you would like to do to this particular?
Dang
Dang it! If I'm not going to say Star Spangled again,
I
I'm just
know.
going to start calling them manglers
I
now.
love it. Let's see. No, I don't think so at this point.
All right. So you can see that your two daggers, they definitely lodge into one of the, actually, let's say two of the arms, because you have two daggers that made contact. And they've almost like gotten themselves into the crook of the elbows. So, has definitely taken on some damage as a result. Not bad at all. Then that is the one mangler. Strix, you see that Kent has thrown daggers. Literally.
So I'm going to, because I've already summoned Far Realm Celestial Waffles.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to send Far Realm Celestial Tentacle Face Waffles towards the one that Kent hit.
Okay.
And I think Celestial Waffles gets their own action, so I don't know if they should just be counted mine or if I should roll for them.
Pull it into your own.
Okay, so I'm going to send them. I'm gonna say,
clarity.
Cool, yeah. I'm just going to send them after them. And I'm using, because one of the celestial creatures you can summon is the Pegasus, I just use the same stats.
Sure, I'm good with that.
Yeah, so they're just going to, like that typical bear noise that you hear in every single show ever, and go after that one when they're just going to claw at them. Okay. So it's +6 to hit.
What did you get?
15.
That hits.
Sweet. And it's a 2d6 +4. So I'll roll for waffles. 8. So it's 12 damage. Bludgeoning damage, yeah.
Okay.
So tentacle waffles, I guess, just like slaps them with the face tentacles. I don't know like what really happens there, but we can we can assume that happens.
Okay. All right.
And then I will take my action, and I'm going to actually try and block the ship off with a wall of fire to try and like keep them from doing things to us.
Block the ship, or
like block them off with a wall of fire. So like
I see. Okay, so put
Nice.
now I'm following.
Yeah.
So block them. Okay, so yeah.
Oh, sorry, not the ship, us. The crew, not the ship. The crew off.
So the manglers who are coming your way.
Yes. I'm going to put that in front of them so that they stop coming towards us.
Okay.
Part of the ship, part of the crew is what my brain was saying.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Walnut for that one.
Yes.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I'm sorry.
Totally fine. Okay, so a wall of fire is going up in front of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I guess that's... Wait, I can't do that because that's also concentration. And
you're going to lose waffles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kidding. So I can't do that.
Never mind.
I am going to keep waffles. I'm not going to do concentration for that because I think that'll mess it up. So I'm just going to cast Chain Lightning on them.
Okay.
Nice.
Between the couple of them.
All right, cool.
I'm trying to Google these. What did you say they were called? Just ask.
Star Spawn Mangler.
Star Spawn Manglers. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Okay, so that's a Dex 19 save, and it's 48 damage to each.
Okay. Dex save 19. Let's see. Well, one got an 18.
Aha. Suck
and
it.
the other got a 22.
We got one.
Yep, so one of them's going to take it.
I'm so bad at also remembering which spells are concentration, so my bad.
It's totally fine.
No,
No worries
there's
at all.
So many.
So which one do you want to have take the damage on this one? We'll say it's the first one that sort of gets hit.
Yeah, I think the one that's already been hurt.
Well, they've both now been hurt thanks to Waffles and...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The one that takes I will give the most damage to is the Waffles one, I think.
Okay. So let's get those numbers to hear what we are dealing with then.
All right, yeah, it's 48.
48 total?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for the first one that's getting hit?
Yes.
And then the other one takes half damage?
Yes, correct.
Cool. All right, so let's see what we have going on here. All right, so that first one is really not looking too great after that significant damage from Waffles and your Chain Lightning. And the other one Yeah, let's see how that other one is looking. And the other one, it's still looking like it's holding its own. So it's still up and moving. So it is now actually their turn. So you have the one mangler who is actually really not looking great, going after Waffle, since Waffle is right there on top. And they're going to go in with 2 claw attacks. So let's see what we get with that one. The first one is going to be a 22 to hit Waffles.
Waffles now.
That was so moving. Waffles, no.
Waffles, no. It's only a hologram of Waffles, but we can still feel pained.
Okay. So does that hit with Waffles?
Yes, they have a 12 armor class. Yeah.
Okay. So then that is going to be 5 slashing damage on the first claw attack.
All right.
Second claw attack is also going to go for Waffles again. That is going to be a 22 again to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And the damage is good. See, this is where digital dice makes you go, sometimes, because it was the exact same roll and the exact same damage.
No
Things that make me go very,
I love it.
So that's another 5
Okay.
heading towards Waffles for the first one. And that is it for that Star Spawn Mangler. The second one is going to head over towards you, Kent, since you threw knives its way. And it too is going to go in with claw attacks.
Just
and it gets 2 of them.
to do the show.
So that's a 21 to hit.
Hate art.
Exactly.
Just interpretive dance dodging right now. Like,
Yes, exactly what I'm doing. Not well enough though. A 21 does hit me.
Okay, 21 hits. Then.
It is less than 8. Wait a minute. How long? Oh, how long did it take us to get here? Has it been 8 hours since Walnut cast Foresight on me?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say no, because I am a Star Trek girl, and I'm thinking at one point we had some fun fast
Some
ship
warp.
flying.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great. Okay, in that case, everything has
Yeah.
disadvantage against me.
Oh, okay. So let's try that again and see what happens. Oh, that's a 26 to hit this time.
Oh, I'll take the 21, thank you.
Take the 21. Take the 21, and
Thank you
that
very
is going to be 8 slashing.
8 slashing. I do roll with this one, and I'll uncanny dodge to have it.
Okay. Very cool. And then its second claw is going to go in. Let's see what we get total-wise. First it was going to be a 22, but we're at disadvantage. So the second one is going to be a 13.
Okay, a 13 I too
No.
managed to avoid.
Okay, so Kent, you managed to dodge out of that second claw attack, and this Star Spawn Mangler just sort of gnashes its long, gnarly, pointed teeth at you in frustration as its second swing does not hit true, which then takes us to Evelyn. It is your turn. Again, you have these 2 spawn manglers heading towards you. Don't forget, though, there is this large hulking figure towards the southwest side of things where you're standing, and there's also one other figure in the upper northeastern side, and then 2 amoeba-like creatures hanging on the archway.
How close are all of those to each other?
You're probably looking at about, the 2 manglers are within 10 feet of each other. The Hulk is about 20 feet diagonally away further south of them. And same thing for the other one. They're about 20 feet up further to the north. So you're
And
almost
the
like dealing
arch
with
is
this
above
diagonal
the
line.
manglers right now?
The arch is above where the manglers are standing. They've just moved forward towards you. And on the arch are those 2 puppeteer parasites that are hanging there. Thank you very much for voting for those, because they're just delightful.
Mhm.
Wait until you get closer to them.
So Evelyn is also with Kent, trying to still maintain the facade. So
Okay.
she starts making up a song for the musical number, and it goes, "Little Starspawn Mangler, you're just a little Starspawn Mangler, and I really hope you roll a 1. Go away, go away." And she casts Ice Storm on them
Amazing.
with the arch. So a hail of rock hard ice pounds to the ground in a 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. which is 300 feet. And they must make a dex saving throw.
Okay, so let's see. So that's also going to affect the puppeteer parasites.
Mm-hmm.
So
Does
we'll
that
do the
also
dex
get
saves for
me?
the stars. Why are these tongue twister creatures tonight? 23 for the 1 star spawn mangler. And then we have a 15 for the 2nd star spawn mangler.
That's 1 success and 1 fail.
Okay, so we will say that the one who's looking weakest was the failure on that one, because that's my 2nd guy. And the first one succeeds. And then for the pretty puppeteers, their dex saves are lovely 8 for the 1.
That's awesome.
And a 4 for the other.
Hooray! We love a fail.
We do.
Is this? I'm stabbing one of them. Should I also? Am I in this? It's totally fine if I am. I force that I'll be fine. But am I in this?
It's a 20-foot area, so Evelyn would have tried to cast it. So just the edge of it.
Great.
I can see it because you know how rain can be literally raining on half of one thing and the other part is fine. If you're positioning this so it's just on that cusp of where Kent is standing and where I am all for that, because that actually does happen in nature. Don't at me on that one.
Right.
Watch your hands.
All right, so let's get the damage on that so I can figure out what we are going to wrap up with.
I roll the
in
damage
mid-combat.
too. Okay, so it's
Yes.
2d8 bludgeoning, which is 11, and then also in addition to that, it is 4d6 cold,
Okay.
which is 13, so a total of 24, and then the one who succeeded takes half.
All right, so I can tell you this right now, that weaker star spawn mangler is gone. You absolutely got rid of them with the first go around. And then you said it was 24?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And Evelyn's like,
so-
oh, what a freak! Nature, a storm, a freak of nature. Who did that? We're just
the
mere
second-
thespians.
The 2nd star spawn mangler is just barely hanging on. In fact, you can see that the bludgeoning that occurred is almost like it broke the shoulders of the other arms, and there's just one useful arm left. As for the puppeteer parasites, let's see how they are faring. Both of them are starting to look a little bit smushed around the edges, as they have taken on damage as well, but they are still there, and they almost like start rippling the edges of their forms towards you, Evelyn, having spotted you and knowing that you were the one who brought such pain upon them. And that, as you notice the damage taken, you hear this loud roar as you see in that northeastern side the Starspawn Seer beginning to generate this orb forming in their hand, and this cackling
No!
as it screams towards all of you. And that is where we're going to end it for this evening,
No!
folks.
Oh,
Don't like it. I don't like any of
Don't
it.
like it. I
Why
don't
did-
like any of this at all.
Why do they hate art?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Some people
Truly.
have
nobody appreciates art.
taste.
No one.
No accounting
underappreciated in
for
our
taste.
time.
Mm-mm.
They have no
Everyone's
taste
a critic.
whatsoever.
You know?
All right. So, with all that said and being done, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for episode 4, The Voice of Pain, and sticking with us. And I don't know. I can't think of anything that we really want to announce of significance for them. We can just say goodbye and get going, right? There's nothing cool awaiting news or
Don't think
anything
so.
like that.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, you know, hey, there are a couple things. So congratulations to our winners. The adult solar dragon, not the cute little, photos. Trust me, this thing's bigger than photos. Actually, it might be familiar size for you when you get it, but to scale. That is going to Ruin Rander. Congratulations to you on winning that one. And as for the All Aboard collection, which is pretty much the Skin and Feet packs and the theme packs for the Spelljammer line for Hunger the Far Realm, as well as the Skin and Feet packs and the theme packs for the Hunger the Far Realm versions, will be all yours, Shaladrassel. Hopefully I said that right. Congratulations. And by the way, don't forget, if you use code AUTONOME at dndmini.com, you will get 15% off your next order. Thank you so much for WizKids. That is going to expire on the 13th of November, so keep that in mind. A very special thanks to Luca and Dylan for producing this episode and making sure everything is running as smoothly as possible. Jay and Sean, our moderators, thank you so much for moderating the chat tonight. And Brian, Eugenio, Holly, and Trystan, thank you so much for sharing a table with me so unexpectedly. I had an absolute blast. I can't wait to see what you do with this and Vee Dave next episode.
And thank you for DMing Vee.
Yes, thank you so much, Vee.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to say a very special thank you to Vee Dave as well, the elder evil of the far realm. We are thinking of you, and we look forward to your return next week. Don't forget some very cool things, and I'm quite happy that we had some very Virgil-friendly things happening for this episode. Virgil is going to be available on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you log in and unlock your Virgil on Wednesday. And don't forget, we will see you Monday, November 14th for the next episode of Idle Champions Presents Hunger of the Far Realm, Episode 5, Temple of Hadar at 4 p.m. Pacific. Be there and be scared. Until then.
Can do.
Take care,
Okay.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.